absence. And we also have Ms. Rachel Hall. And we'd like to welcome everyone tonight. And we have Pastor Joshua Ray, and he will come. He's new here to Cleveland. Would that be First Methodist Church?
That's right. That's correct.
He's the pastor of the First Methodist Church. And Pastor Ray, we welcome you to Cleveland.
Thank you very much.
Let's have prayer.
Appreciate it. Brothers and sisters, shall we pray together now? Gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we invite your presence, your Holy Spirit, to be with us tonight. We take a moment to remember you, Lord, that you are our God and a God of righteousness, of mercy, of justice, and a God who is faithful above all else. So, Lord, we give you thanks for who you are and all that you've done for us, for your grace and your provision, for your steadfast faithfulness towards us. So, Lord, in that spirit, we humbly but confidently approach your throne and ask that you would bestow your Holy Spirit upon us tonight, gathered. Lord, that you would grant wisdom and courage, patience, grace, and fortitude to those leaders of our city here. As we discuss the business of this town, Lord, I pray that you would give us guidance, that you would draw us towards goodness, towards truth. Lord, we commit all of this unto you. Lord, I pray that Cleveland, Texas would be a ground that is touched by your holy work. Lord, that your Spirit would saturate this place and these people with that redemptive work that you have started years and years ago and that you continue today. So, Lord, we commit all of this unto you. Would you be with us? Would you guide us? Lord, we place our trust and our hope unto you. We lift all of these things up in your name, and we pray in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Amen.
Okay. While we're standing, I'm going to ask Ms. Rachel Hall to lead us in both pledges tonight.
Please join me with the pledge to the American flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now for the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Okay. Now, on those two, they're not here.
Well, we do have for the municipal court recommendation and proclamation.
Where's the proclamation? Okay. Donald Wilson. Okay. He's not.
Don't say this when y'all go to like this, so that way we can put it up for the picture.
Okay, tonight I just have one proclamation, and this will be in recognition of the Municipal Courts Week, recognizing the importance of municipal courts, the rule of law, and the fair and impartial administration of justice. Whereas municipal courts play a significant role in preserving public safety and promoting quality of life in Texas. Whereas more people come in contact with municipal courts than all over Texas courts combined, and public impression of the Texas judicial system is largely dependent upon public's experience in municipal courts. Whereas state law authorizes a municipality to either appoint or elect a municipal judge for terms of office. The Cleveland Municipal Court is a state court, and its judges are members of the state judiciary. Whereas the procedures of the Cleveland Municipal Court operations are set forth in the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure and other laws of the state of Texas. Whereas the city of Cleveland is committed to the notion of our legal system is based on the principle that independent, fair, and competent judiciary will interpret and apply the laws that govern us, and that judges and court personnel should comply with the law and act in a manner that promotes public confidence in the integrity and impartiality of the judiciary. Whereas Cleveland municipal judges are not policymakers for the city of Cleveland, but are bound by the law and the canons of judicial conduct and are required to make decisions independent of a governing body of the city council, city officials, and employees. Whereas the city council recognizes that the Constitution and laws of the state of Texas contain procedural safeguards in criminal cases for all defendants, including indigent defendants, and supports the Cleveland Municipal Courts in complying with such legal requirements. Now, therefore, I, Danny Lee, Mayor of the City of Cleveland, do hereby proclaim Municipal Courts Week, that'll be November 3rd through November 7th, in recognition of the fair and impartial justice offered to our citizens by the Municipal Courts of Cleveland. Juanita Lamone, City Secretary, Danny Lee, Mayor. Ma'am, thank you for the work that you do with our municipal court. Introduce yourself.
I'm Kim Castleman.
Kim Castleman. We thank you. You know, you guys put in a lot of hard work. Judge Fuller and our municipal court is highly respected and highly thought of by the citizenry of Cleveland. So in other words, you know, just keep up the good work, and we appreciate you guys. Thank you very much, and I want to present that to you. Is that all? Okay. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Kim, I need a picture. I'm getting ahead of myself tonight.
Okay. Do this. How about that?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, thank you. Where's my pen? Okay. Now that we have that out the way, we'll go on to number 5, item number 5. That will be public comments. Any person with city-related business may speak to the council in compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. The city of Cleveland may not discuss or vote on any matter raised in public comments unless it's specifically on the agenda. To speak during a council meeting, you must be recognized by the presiding officer. And I'm pretty sure that this item is on the agenda, so council, we can, comment. So we're gonna, okay, where is it at on the agenda? Let me see. Oh, municipal, yeah, that's item number 12. Okay. Okay, now, anyone that with the comments regarding the municipal sports park, that's gonna be item number 12. So you'll be the second on the agenda. Item 11, that'll be Dr. Hodge. Okay. Now we're gonna go to item number 6 will be. Oh, okay. That's right.
Those that want to speak out.
Yeah, okay, now those that want to speak, that'll be Chaplain Lance Blackwell. Okay, here we go. This is the airport, okay. I see.
Thank you, Mayor Daniel Lee. It's a real privilege to be here
Okay.
and to really be serving as a volunteer chaplain over your Cleveland area. And as you know, 17 years ago, the Ministerial Alliance gathered together of the ministers of our churches to be able to show our city employees how we appreciate them. And so 17 years ago, on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, we had a luncheon at the convention center here and at the Civic Center. And so I just wanted to invite you again to come and join us as our city councils and Mr. Tipton to be the servers to our employees. The meal will be provided by D&M Diner, and Pay Stencil this year provided the funds for that, and so they will have everything set up at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and the city's employees will come and go, and we would like for y'all to talk about this, coming together to be serving the employees as servers, okay, volunteer. So thank you so much, and it's just a blessing to be here tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chaplain Blackwell. Okay, next we'll have Mr. Jack Stevens, address 3 Enchanted Woods Drive, Kingwood, Texas. Topic, new hangars at the airport.
Yes.
Okay.
First, thank you, Mayor
Okay,
and
before you
City
start,
Council.
each person, you have 3 minutes, okay? And Miss Juanita, she has a time, so we have quite a few tonight, so we want to do this in a timely and fair manner. So, okay, Mr. Stevens, go ahead.
Thank you. Mayor and City Council, my name's Jack Stevens. I live in Kingwood. My son's a dentist here in town, Cleveland Family Dentistry. And back in May of '21, I approached the airport manager, it was Clay Dean, about moving a new hangar to the Cleveland airport. At that time, there were 40 to 60 people on the waiting list, and I was trying to get a place to put an airplane. He said it sounded great to him, but I'd first need to talk to the airport board, the city manager, and city council, and they're going to want an idea of what the estimate would be. Never done this kind of construction before, so I sought a friend of mine. We worked with Western Telephone, had a lot of construction experience, and we decided to give this a try. We came up with an estimate that we thought we could build and present it to the airport board and the city manager and council of $256,000 to relocate the airport. I explained that this would be totally at my expense. The city was not responsible for any part of the financial risk on this. For background information, I think it's important to know that the 3 new hangars that are currently sitting out there at the airport took over a year and a half to build and cost $1.5 million each. So to kind of put things in perspective. Early on, I saw that the estimate for cost of the building construction was going to be way off, so I met with the airport manager, Clay Dean, and the city manager, Bobby Pennington, showed them that the expenses that we didn't foresee, and they assured us to keep going, we'd settle up at the end. It only took us 4 months to build the new hangar to completion, and within a few days, all 10 hangar spaces were immediately filled, and the city started collecting rent at $42,000 a year. December 9th of '21, I met with the city manager, Bobby Pennington, told him that I'd running low on money, and I needed help with the asphalt apron that surrounded the new hangar. He agreed to cover the majority of the cost, reimbursed me the $56,000 for the apron, and made 2 rent payments at that time. I'd finally gotten all the invoices paid, presented him with all the invoices, and the amount came out to $440,632. The city manager, Lee Tipton, has all the invoices. I've summarized them on this handout on the first page. Now the problem, the old city manager, Bobby Pennington, never went back to the city council and got the final cost approved. So the city believed that the cost for the hangars was our original estimate of $256,000 plus the $56,000 for the apron, which comes out to $312,000. In closing, I respectfully ask that you consider the benefit of having this hangar relocated to your airport at no financial risk to the city, and that you would fulfill the financial obligation of repaying me for the cost that I incurred in moving and relocating the hangar to your airport. This hangar moving forward will increase, with the increased rent, will generate $48,000 a year to the city. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Stevens. Okay. Next, we'll have, is it Chris Janot, 23184 Smith Road, Porter, Texas.
Thank you, sir. Just backing up from where he is, I was the actual contractor. What happened in the beginning, I came here, he was out of town, I came here and presented just what is on the original page, which is to take down the building, to move the building, to relocate the building. It had nothing to do with dirt work, pipe, site preparation or anything like that. There was 351 loads of dirt that were brought in there. We cleared the area, cut the trees down, got it all done. And Clay, like I said, and the city manager were out there every day, every week or so. And we completed it, I think, in 91 days from the time we got on the ground over there. So it's all in place. All the invoice has been turned in. My office got a call a week and a half ago saying that the city of Cleveland feels like they owed me some invoices that were not paid, had not been paid yet, which was not the truth. So I got with Mr. Stevens, and he said he was already in contact with the council or possibly the city manager or the city secretary about those invoices that had already been paid. And we have all the documentation to back all of that up. So again, the hangar's in position. We both have airplanes out there. They still need another 70 places to put airplanes out there. I've been approached multiple times when the prior city manager was here, the taller man, called us out there with Clay when he was still the manager out there. We rode around for probably 2.5 or 3 hours and trying to see where we could add on to the end of this building or go to the back of the building that we just put in or take some links on the other buildings just to bring some revenue, because when you have planes out there, you get revenue. And that we just felt like if I could come and support what he had told you, and if anything that you guys need from us. I've been a attendee at Cornerstone Church here in Cleveland for 34 years. Mr. Mac Waters is cousins with my wife, and we serve the community wherever we go. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, next we'll have Ms. Victoria Good. Greater Cleveland Chamber.
Good evening, everyone. I brought some of my people. My name is Victoria Good. I'm with the Greater Cleveland Chamber. I have some of our Petal in the Pines committee members, and Courtney, and Ashley's over there. She's also on our board. I just wanted to give you a little recap of Petal in the Pines. On Saturday, November 8th, the Greater Cleveland Chamber hosted their 8th annual bike ride event. This ride has moved from a couple locations in Cleveland, including CBS Furniture in Stansel Park, before landing in downtown Cleveland. In past years, we were excited to get 100 cyclists. And then last year, we had 200 cyclists registered, and that made us happy. And then this year, we ended up with 247 pre-registered, with 25 signing up the morning of, totaling 272 cyclists. I wanted to highlight a few things so the community knows a little bit more about our event. Classified as a fun ride, cyclists experience a beautiful route through the Sam Houston National Forest, either 28 miles or 52 miles, starting and ending in downtown Cleveland. Some fun facts: of those registered this year, 75% are men, 80% are over the age of 40. They travel from all over Texas, with the majority coming from Houston, but they also come from Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Waco, and then some from Cleveland, including our very own Dr. Lynette Sykes, Coach Alyssa Hawley, and Eric of the City of Cleveland. After making sure the ride was conducive to a great experience, the committee wanted to add more onto the event. So adding on Log Jam Fest and partnering with the city and EDC just made sense. 60% of the cyclists surveyed stayed for the festival after finishing the ride, with the majority of those saying live music and food trucks were their favorite aspects. Some of the out-of-towners stayed in our hotels, including Motel 6, Comfort Inn, and Holiday Inn Express. This year, we offered early check-in on Friday evening, so we were able to chat with some of them and give recommendations on where to go for dinner. Our committee, led by Camille Landry, would like to present a few certificates of appreciation to some of our City of Cleveland friends who helped us tremendously this year. We appreciate the help that we get from everyone, but these kind of stood out to us this year, specifically for Petal in the Pines. We would like to thank Public Works, specifically Cody and his team, going above and beyond and helping us prep, execute, and clean up after the event. City Manager Lee Tipton, we get there at 5 a.m. on Saturday, and he beat us there. So he went above and beyond, helping us with things that he didn't necessarily have to, and we really appreciate that. Emilio Lavario, he came last year, he came again this year. He and I were actually there from 5 a.m. until 8 or 9 p.m. that night, making sure that everything was taken care of. And of course, our mayor, Danny Lee. He always gives us a pat on the back and supports what we're doing and is always sharing the positive things that we're doing. So I really appreciate that. So we just have some certificates that we would like to give y'all, so come up. Grab one for the mayor. Y'all can fold on. Public Works. Y'all can go stand, I'll take the picture.
Okay. Victoria, we thank you. And I kind of want to add on to that. Victoria, Courtney, I don't want to miss anybody, but the entire chamber, Ashley, Emilio, the Public Works. You know, I really want to take my hat off to each of you for the hard work that you've been putting in. You know, the collaboration that we have with the city and chamber. We're working together. We promoting Cleveland. We're doing positive things. And I just want to, you know, I tell y'all all the time how much I appreciate the job that y'all doing. You know, when we talk about changing the culture here in Cleveland, I mean, stuff like this goes a long way. You know, Cleveland, we're on the map. You know, we're on the map. So let's just continue doing what we're doing, continue selling Cleveland, continue delivering positive messages. So once again, thank you, and I appreciate working with you. And we're looking forward to the Cocoa Crawl, right? So I'm going to put in a plug for that a little early. It's going to be a couple of weeks from now. Okay, thank you. Okay. Now, I think the remainder will go in under the municipal park. Okay. Okay, now that we have those set of public comments out the way, I'd also like to remind everyone that this Saturday morning at 10 a.m. we will have the ribbon cutting at Samuel Wiley Park. You know, anyone that has driven by, we have done a lot of, it's at 12 o'clock noon until 2 p.m. And we're really looking forward to it to, you know, kind of pull the curtain back on the work that we have done to our park. It's just a tremendous upgrade, and we're all very proud of it. So if you're not doing anything this Saturday, just please come out and celebrate another positive for our city. Okay, now we're going to move on to our consent agenda. All consent agenda items are considered routine by the city council. Okay, well, I've gotten ahead of myself a little bit. Starting with Julius. Give me a report, Julius.
I attended the Pedal at the Pines later in the afternoon when it cooled off. My kids loved it, and it was a great atmosphere out there. Everyone enjoyed it. Food trucks were there. Then just want to thank staff, everybody. Thank you for all you do, especially Emilio being out there all day. But we have a couple other events coming up. We have the Cocoa Crawl, December 4th, 5 to 7 in downtown. It'll be East Crockett and North College. And then we have the Hometown Christmas, which is on December 6th from 12 to 5 at the Civic Center. And then we'll have our Christmas parade after that at 6 p.m. So hope to see everybody there. That's it.
Okay, next, Mr. Warwick. No comment. There we go. Okay, Mr. Brent McWaters.
I just want to echo what everybody's been saying, and I tell you, it's just, you lived here a while. I just love seeing the collaboration that's going on between the chamber, the city, the EDC, the various departments here in town, really working together to put on an event, a real building block event that can be in the city for years to come and grow. So thank you, all of you that worked together to get that done. It was a good success.
Okay, Ms. Juanita, do you have anything for us tonight?
I have a message from Ms. Desiree. She was not be able to hear today, but she wanted to let y'all know that the Galilee Baptist Church is going to host a community Thanksgiving meal on November the 22nd from 11 to 2. And everybody's welcome out there. The address is 710 Watson here in Cleveland. Also, that from November the 1st to December the 5th, Hands of Hope Christmas Toy Drive. They are hosting that, and it's the drop-off location is at Repair the Breach here in town at 103 East Crockett. So if you want to go drop off a toy, you're more than welcome to drop it off there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Juanita. Okay, Mr. Tipton, do you have anything for us tonight? No, sir. Okay, Mr. Ramsey, you okay tonight? I'm okay. Okay, last but not least, Ms. Rachel Hall.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I just want to say thank you for everyone being here and participating at the council meeting. Also, thank you to everyone online who watches from home and still participates. Thank you to staff, and happy Thanksgiving Day. All of the people I just said thank you to.
Okay. I just want to thank everybody here tonight for showing up and having an interest, in our children, in our city. And I like to encourage everyone, during this Thanksgiving holiday, reach out to the elderly, reach out to the ones the have-nots. I mean, God blesses us that we can bless other people. So I'm just going to ask everyone, find the elderly neighbor, somebody who's handicapped, somebody that's in need. I think that's good, that we try to do this during this time of year. So thanks, everyone. Thank for the ones that are watching at home. I appreciate, our community and the great strides that we're making. So let's just continue. Okay, now the consent agenda. Okay, all consent agenda items are considered routine by City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member requests an item to be removed and considered separately. Okay, Council, I'm sure you've went over the agenda. Do I have a motion or any questions about anything on the consent agenda?
Make a motion, we approve consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Buckley to approve the consent agenda. I have a second by Mr. Ward. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, we're going to move on to our regular agenda now. Item number 11, we'll have a presentation by the one and only Dr. Tyra Hodge and her associate, Miss Yadira Mariscal. I hope I'm not butchering your name up, but I'm trying my best. It's okay? Okay, they have a presentation about the Resilience Academy. Anyone that knows Dr. Hodge, she's been with us here at Cleveland ISD for, the last 5 years or so. And she's recently retired, and she's going into a new endeavor. And we're going to ask her to come and explain, and we'll give you about 12 minutes. Come on, Doc. Ms. Yadira?
Yadira is actually my supervisor.
Oh, okay.
And I do have two endeavors going on. Right now, I lead a coalition for, against youth vaping and underage drinking, and that is with the DAP program. So I do have the school thing going on. That is God's blessing. But I also believe in this initiative that my supervisor, she's going to present this to you today, and I am her cheerleader.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. Well, I wasn't sure how to do this. I have it on here. I can just definitely talk about it. Thank you for the invite, Mayor Lee. This is all new to me. I've never been to a city council meeting, but I wanted to introduce our program. My name is Yadira Mariscal. I'm the prevention manager for ADAPT Prevention Programs. We service Liberty, Cleveland, and, Liberty, Montgomery, and Walker counties. And we are basically, we go to the schools and we have presentations, and we do a life skills curriculum where we talk about a lot of the life skills. So we focus on making positive and good decisions. We also focus obviously on prevention of drugs and alcohol. We do presentations in the schools and out in the community. And we are also, like Tyra said, we are building a coalition. And the goal of the coalition is to bring together the community members and find ways where we can work together to fight the vapes and the tobacco and get our kids on track so that they are not falling into the cracks. One of the main things that we focus on is ensuring that our curriculum and anything that we do in the community is very interactive with the youth. Because we know that with the youth, we can't sit there and teach or make it look like a lesson because they won't listen. So our activities are very engaging. We allow them to speak, we ask questions, we do activities in groups, and then we also allow them to give their opinion on different things. We talk about self-esteem. We also focus a lot on emotions because a lot of our youth do not know how to regulate their emotions. Therefore, when they don't know how to regulate, they always go to these substances to cope. So we teach the youth techniques, for example, for anxiety and depression. We teach them techniques on breathing. We guide them on who they can talk to. What does anxiety, what does depression feel like? Because a lot of our youth experience it, but they really don't know what to call it. So through our education and our courses and our presentations, we educate our youth, and we also hold presentations for the adults, so parents. We also open up our presentations to parents. So if there's ever any group of parents that would like additional information, maybe they themselves would like more information on what is self-care, what is depression, what is anxiety, or how can I help my child? How can I tell if my child is experiencing any of these symptoms or emotions? We can put together a presentation where we can share it with the community. So I will be around. We are in Cleveland, actually on Travis, so we will be part of the Cocoa Crawl. Unfortunately, we didn't make the bingo, but we will participate. We will have a lot of activities for the kids, just so that they know that we do interactives. We will speak with the parents as well. But if you have any questions at all, please reach out. We are in the community. And again, we service Liberty, Montgomery, and Walker County. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Ms. Marichal,
Yes.
I just want to thank you and Dr. Hodge, for what you're doing here in Cleveland. It's much needed. We do have a lot of young adults, you know, that make bad decisions and get behind the eight ball. And I think that the program that you'll have, it protects a lot of those kids that fall through the cracks. And we have a lot of them here in Cleveland. And, you know, myself, the council, you know, we fully wish you all the best. And if any way that we can help out, you know, just leave your information with Miss Juanita.
Okay.
And just good luck on your new endeavor.
And this is the thing, so we're funded by a grant.
Mhm.
So the more work that we're out there doing in the community, the better for, you know, the next round 3 years later, right?
Mhm.
And so we have the court systems. We're going in so half of the group, I'm on the coalition side, but she also oversees the prevention specialists. They're going in to speak to the elderly, doing all kinds of skills with the elderly. So don't limit what ADAPT can do to just the youth. It is prevention, but there's all these other things. So I feel like we should be partnering with the courts, these kids that are in trouble, and this is the best part. There's no cost.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
government is
it's
paid for
absolutely,
it,
it's absolutely
you know?
free. And like she said, we do go to senior citizen home and we do activities with them. And we visit with them because a lot of them, like was mentioned earlier, they don't have anybody that visits them. So, you know, my ladies will play bingo with them, or they'll come up with an activity that has to do with mental health, or my ladies actually went and they did the ladies' nails and their hair. Just things that'll make them happy, but at the same time also continue to allow them to interact, because we want them to feel that they're important, just like everybody else in the community. Adults, all ages, and youth.
Businesses, let them come, that's not my side, so I'm speaking on the other side. But
Okay.
let them come in and do self-care for, you know, stressful or hostile environments. Let them come in and mediate and do these types of presentations, because there's a whole menu of stuff. Allow us to work and to get our hours.
Yeah, the
And
topic
so-
is basically the topic, it's the sky's the limit. So if there's a specific topic that you have in your business, in your community, that you want us to address, as long as you give us notice, we can put together a presentation, PowerPoint with activities to engage, whether it's adults or youth.
And so please understand, when I was the director of SEL, Social Emotional Learning, for Cleveland ISD, I fought very hard to get ADAPT, and I worked very close with them to land this $5 million grant for 5 years. So honestly, I just need to know what you need in the community. We know that we want to reduce the vaping. We know we want to reduce the underage drinking. We are building a coalition. In this coalition, anybody can be a part. I have students that are working on this a part of their day. Churches need to be involved. This is a time that we all come together as a community. And so I've always felt like I was a part of the Cleveland community, because I've been here for 11 years, well vested, spend my money in the stores, and then would go home to Conroe. And so, but it's needed here. The mental health problem is still a problem. Good friend just lost her son to mental health, right here in town. You know what I'm talking about. And I don't want to bring ugly up, but a couple of nights ago, my son said, "Mom, I think I have a problem with anxiety. I have it all the time." And because of what just happened, and actually his two close friends just lost a family member to suicide. Don't think I didn't knock on this. Guess what? Thursday morning, we both gonna be sitting down at Tri-County to get help. So we help mediate these things where you see an issue. So you can call and you can say, "Hey, Yadi, Yadera, can y'all do this?" chances are we can figure out how to code it and it'll go into our grant. So don't just think drugs, don't just think, think about issues that are going on with youth and adults, because the prevention part is both, is youth and adults. And so although we want to stop the youth so they can grow up and be productive members of society.
Well, and prevention, because it's prevention, you have to take into account, we want to go and find the root cause. The substances are just Band-Aids. So as prevention, what we try to do is give the youth the tools they need to be able to make a better decision. Because at the end of the day, we are not able to, even as a parent, we can want to make the decision for our children. But at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to be on these school campuses and someone's going to offer them something. But if they know the risk, if they have the tools, if they know that they have the support system, they're going to make better choices. And so that's why we focus a lot on root, behavior, listening to the youth. What is it that you need? What is it that, what's missing? So then that way we like to build those relationships with the youth, especially when we're doing our curriculum at the schools. We have a lot of students that will come up to us after and share things about a specific topic we talked about that they've never shared with their parents. And so we want to be that avenue. We want to be that, I guess, that brings together, the mediator that brings together the parents and the youth. And it's just a matter of all of us working together and making sure that we can do it. And I know we can. I live in Kingwood. I just work over here prior to working over here with communities and schools when I first started a year and a half ago, and now ADAPT. I didn't know what was happening over here. And knowing and being a part of the community and getting to know these families, I have a mission. I want to help in any capacity that I can, and I know that with prevention and with education and compassion and empathy, we can definitely get through to these kids, even the ones that think they're tough and, you're dumb, what are you doing, eye rolling. I've encountered these fifth graders. And then after a couple sessions with us and just having that open communication, then all of a sudden they're asking, when are you going to come again? When are we going to see you again? Are you going to come back? So it's those kind of relationships that we strive for, and we know that we can, and all we need is the support of the community. Currently, we do have the support of Cleveland ISD. They have allowed us, and we do have an MOU with Cleveland ISD. Now it's just a matter of actually going to each school and presenting it to the principals, and then the principals allowing us to go on campus and do these sessions with the students.
And so I'm beginning to go into Montgomery County and start working there because we got to spend this money, right? So I'm going, Cleveland, I'm just letting you know, be greedy. Get the services that I helped write this grant for. At the youth groups, youth centers, all these places, ball games, bring us in, let us get those hours. Because like I said, I'm moving in, I got an office now, December 1st in Montgomery County. We did this for Cleveland, okay? So get the money that was written for y'all and to take advantage of that while we have it. And so maybe we'll have it in 3 more years after that for another 5 years. So let's utilize that, okay? So please reach out. If you can't remember Yadira, y'all know Tyra, you know me. I've been here with y'all.
To make it easier, I go by Yachty, because there's a lot of people that can't roll the R. So Yachty. Yachty, and,
But thank you
so much.
Thank you once again, always, for your support.
Thank you,
Thank
Ms. Yachty and Dr. Hodge. Thank you very much. And I'd just like to encourage everyone to, I'm sure everyone, the people watching at home, these services that they're providing, for our children here in Cleveland, let's take advantage of them. And a lot of people are not aware that we have these resources. So if you know of someone that's going through some of these issues that they described, you know, you can call us, or, you know, we can give you, you know, information on how to get in touch with Dr. Hodge and Ms. Yachty, and which they're going to be present anyway. So let's just take advantage of that. Okay, I'm going to move on to item number 12. Okay, discussion and possible action of the municipal sports park. And I have a number of requests to speak, and as I stated earlier, I'll give everyone 3 minutes. Okay, Miss Juanita has the timer, and okay, we'll first have Miss Cheyenne King, 293 Road, Cleveland, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Good evening, council members. My name is Cheyenne Keene. I am both a teacher in our district and a proud parent whose children have played for CYBSA for the last 6 years. I'm here tonight to speak about the importance of preserving our home park, I might cry, that CYBSA depends on. Our league serves over 400 children in our community. These children come from all backgrounds, but they share one thing in common. They found a home, a family, and a place to grow on those ball fields. As a teacher, I can tell you with absolute certainty that our students crave spaces where they feel supported, connected, and safe. Many of my own students play in this league. One of mine is sitting right here as well. They light up when they see their teachers cheering from the stands. For them, it's more than a game. It's encouragement, it's validation, and it's a reminder that their community believes in them. This park is where our kids learn teamwork, resilience, and sportsmanship. It's where some of them discover a passion for athletics, where others build confidence that they didn't know they had, and where many form friendships that carry with them beyond the season. Our league has inspired athletes, strengthened families, and built lasting relationships across the community. But the park provides something even deeper, a sense of belonging. It is a constant to their lives, a place where they can count on week after week, year after year. For 6 years, my own children have grown up on these fields. They have learned responsibility, discipline, and joy. And pride. I've watched the same growth in hundreds of other children who rely on this space. If we lose this park, we lose opportunities for physical activities, mentorships, and community connections, and positive childhood experiences. Many families in our area do not have the ability to travel further for practices or games. Removing these fields from us would directly impact their access to benefit. Would directly impact their access to the benefits this league provides. I know the decisions are never easy, but I ask you consider maintaining the commitment that CYBSA was promised years ago, guaranteeing this remains a place where 400 children learn, grow, and thrive every season with CYBSA. On behalf of our families, our athletes, and our students, I respectfully ask that you keep this park as the home park of our little league. We protect this place that has given so much to so many. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next we'll have Ms. Savannah Cunningham.
Good evening. My name is Savannah. I grew up in this community. I worked for the city of Cleveland for almost 5 years, and I've served on other local boards and volunteered for many years. But my heart, my home has always been with CYBSA. My now 10-year-old has been a part of this program since he was 2, and for the last 6 years, I have had the honor of serving on the CYBSA board. In that time, I've watched countless children grow through this program. CYBSA is an active 501c3 nonprofit organization. We are not built to make money. We are built to make opportunities. Our goal has always been to keep registration costs as low as possible. Even with our low fees, many families still struggle to pay. Thankfully, we've been able to help those families with sponsors. Our registration fees are designed only to cover the direct cost of each player. The fee includes the uniform entrance and end-of-season awards. Even so, due to inflation, the league lost about $3 per player last year. While we could consider raising fees and The added expenses imposed by the city are something we simply cannot absorb. In the last 10 years, we've gone from paying $10 an hour for lights to a $1,000 deposit, now paying the entire light bill for our season, which last year totaled nearly $8,000. Now, as we prepare to open registration, we've been told that the council hasn't set the new rental fees by February will operate under last year's terms. How are we supposed to collect registration fees and money from families when we don't know what our cost will be? On top of that, we've had the additional cost for equipment and field maintenance because the city has failed to properly maintain the facilities in recent years. We've even had to pay out of pocket for things the city used to cover, like field chalk and ant killer. In April of 2024, CYBSA paid $1,400 to replace the breaker at the city facility. We were directed to coordinate with Chief Electric to complete this work on the city-owned building. How is that fair to us? CYBSA is more than just baseball to us. CYBSA and Cleveland Municipal Park are home. I don't understand how our relationship with the city has shifted from partnership to profit. We have never minded putting in time, resources, and effort to make this part the best it can be. I hope the council can see that these new fees and costs, even at a discounted rate, will make it impossible for our league to sustain itself for years to come. I pray the board sees that we truly stand for the community and the 400 children we serve every year. This is not about dollar signs. It's about giving kids a place to belong and grow and to call home. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, Nick Cunningham, 150 Cobblestone.
Over the past 3 years, I've had the privilege of serving as president of our league, and I've been involved with the program for 7 years. In that time, these fields have become more than dirt and grass. They become the place where I've watched my own children discover confidence, joy, and a game they truly love. They've become the space where I've been able to pass on the passion for a sport that shaped my own life. This year marks a full decade of CYBSA playing on these fields. 10 years of early mornings, late nights, scraped knees, hard-earned wins, and lessons learned. 10 years of building a community, yet right now we're facing an uncertainty that weighs heavily on me. And it's not about schedules or the facilities, it's about the 400 kids who step onto these fields every season. Kids who look forward to this as their safe space, their outlet, their team, their family. For many of them, this league is where they learn resilience, teamwork, responsibility, and pride. For some, it's where they find support systems they may not have anywhere else. These fields have given our children room to grow, not just as athletes, but as people. That's why I'm here today. I'm asking you to help us protect that space for them, to help us ensure that the fields remain accessible and available for the youth who depend on them. Because when we talk about fields, we're not just talking about the land. We're talking about memories, mentorship, opportunity, and hope. Our kids deserve stability, and they deserve a place to play, to learn, to belong. And as a leader, a coach, and a parent, I'm scared of what losing this space would mean for them. I'm asking you for your support so that we can continue giving these children a place where they can grow, thrive, and fall in love with the game that has brought so much good into their lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Courtney Contreras, 701 County Road 343. Courtney?
Good evening. My name is Courtney Contreras. I'm a 2008 Cleveland graduate, someone who spent much of my adult life serving this community, volunteering within the youth sports community, and running a youth-focused nonprofit here in Cleveland. We joined CYBSA in 2011 when our oldest started Tiny Tots, and for the next 12 years, it became a second home to us. My husband coached season after season, pouring his heart into kids who weren't just players to him, but have turned into family. And because of CYBSA, we built friendships with people who we may have never met otherwise. Long before that, I watched my parents pour their time and energy into CYBSA and Cleveland community football. Seeing them dedicate themselves so fully to the youth of our area has changed who I am as a person. It planted in me a sense of purpose and responsibility that has guided my family ever since and how we choose to serve our community. In 2017, our world changed forever when we lost our youngest son, Cade. He had played 2 years with Tiny Tots for CYBSA and practically grown up at the ballpark. When he passed, CYBSA and the entire Cleveland community wrapped us up in a way I'll never forget. They prayed for us, held us up, and loved us through our darkest times of our lives. Their compassion didn't just comfort us, it carried us. CYBSA will forever be intertwined with our healing and with our family. One of the things I love most about this organization is the way the impact keeps going. So many former players come back to umpire. Watching these young men and women return to the fields they grew up on is something truly special. They're learning responsibility, leadership, patience, and they're giving back to the next generation. It shows just how deeply CYBSA shapes our youth here in Cleveland. And none of this happens without a community working together. CYBSA is what it is when parents, volunteers, coaches, and leaders all show up for one purpose: to give our kids a safe, positive place to grow. These fields are more than just dirt and bases and grass. They're a place of belonging, a place where kids find mentors, structure, encouragement, and joy, and friends. In a world that can feel overwhelming every single day, CYBSA gives our children stability. It gives them a place to simply just be kids. CYBSA is more than baseball and softball. For over 40 years, it's been a cornerstone of Cleveland, a place where friendships and family are created, where kids discover who they are, and where this community proves time and time again that we show up for each other. I hope the legacy of this volunteer-driven organization, one that has served this community for more than 4 decades, holds meaning as decisions are made that will affect Cleveland children for many years ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney. Okay. Infinity Norwood.
Hi, well, how do you top that? But good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Infinity Norwood, and I'm here tonight representing the Cleveland Youth Baseball and Softball Association, where I serve as concession stand manager and volunteer parent. Cleveland's youth deserves opportunities to play right here at home, but I want to share a few numbers with you to show why the city's proposed changes would hurt our families the most. According to the U.S. Census, 18.8% of Cleveland's residents live below the poverty line. That's roughly 1,400 of our neighbors. About 1 in 4 children, 26%, live in poverty, and for families with disabilities, that number jumps to even higher at 34%. CYBSA provides more than just sports. We offer a free baseball program for children with disabilities, one of the only ones within a 50-mile radius. If the city takes away our access to the fields or charges an excessive rental fee, those children will have nowhere to play. This fall, we also tried to host a fall ball season because so many families wanted to keep playing, but we couldn't even get a meeting with the city management to make that happen. Families like mine and many others went to play in other towns instead, and with that came spending our money there too, on dinners, gas, and snacks. That's money that could have stayed in Cleveland. As concession stand manager, I can proudly say that we keep our business local. We order all of our supplies from a Cleveland grocery store, and we work with local vendors for jerseys, trophies, and photos. We even invite small businesses to participate in opening day to help them grow alongside our kids. We're not just a baseball league, we're a community program that supports local families and businesses. I'm asking that the council please consider the real impact these changes will have on our children, our families, and our local economy before taking away something that's been building Cleveland's future for decades. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Brittany Ratcliffe.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I don't have nothing typed out, but I'm just going to speak from my heart. I know last month, some of us came here to the meeting, and it was proposed the ActiveNet app for the municipal park. So with that, I don't think you guys said anything about us losing the park. It was just going to be that we were able to reserve it from the app, correct? So I know a decision hasn't been made on that. However, just like Mayor Danny Lee said earlier, Cleveland is on the map now. We're no longer a 3A small town. It's bigger than that. So I think it should be equal opportunity for all the kids. A lot of us, we sit here and we say, oh, it's about the kids, it's for the kids, it's for the kids. But is it truly for the kids, or is it just for, it has to be about all kids, equal opportunity for everyone. So when it comes to municipal park, we volunteer as parents. We're out hours at the ballpark. My son has played for CYBSA, played for Cleveland Youth Football, Cleveland Dragon Football. Cleveland is getting so big, and now we're a 6A school. If they wanted to create a baseball league or a football league out in Santa Fe, Plum Grove area, they can do that. We can have multiple leagues and still be a thriving community. Sorry, I had so much to say, and then you get up here, right? And then you just lose train of thought. But we can be a thriving community for everyone involved, every parent, every volunteer. We spend a lot of time and a lot of money. And I know she just said that a lot of our children do live poverty level. So I know she didn't say an exact number that it would be to cost to rent the field or anything like that. I just ask that you guys do keep in mind that a lot of people don't have it. Us at these fields, we become like family. We end up paying for the next, or hey, I got you until payday, or whatever the case may be. So I just like to say, just keep in mind that, not everyone has it like that, but at the same time, I think we can all find a common ground where we come together and stop being divided.
Okay, thank you. Whitney. Okay, Brenda Rios. Okay, Brittany. Okay. Sharika Lewis.
Good afternoon, everyone. Brittany did a really good job of truly what I wanted to say. We have to realize as a community, we need to always be community. And it needs to be for everyone. That is something that I stand on. That is something that I'm big on. If that's a city park, then everybody needs to have access to a city park, not just some. We talk about community, we talk about coming together, but in the city of Cleveland, we do that a lot. Courtney spoke and she shared, and she's absolutely right. When that happened in her life, this community came together as one. We need to learn to remain as one. We can do so much more if we're on one accord. I asked that the city, Brittany did speak on that. Also keep in mind too, the young lady was right, Infinity. I like that name, girl. That a lot of us do live below poverty. So keep that in mind as well. But we need to be together on one accord. We should never sit in one room and be separate. We are Cleveland, we bleed red, and I don't want nobody to ever forget that. That is all.
Okay, Sharika. Okay, Mr. Robert Lacey, Jr., 704 Jefferson. Mr. Lacey.
I don't know if I can top into that. First, Honorable Danny Lee and to the council, thank you all for this opportunity. I moved to Cleveland in 1989, my family, my daughters, my kids, and my grandkids all attend the Cleveland School. Last few years, we've been really involved in this youth program, the athletes and stuff. In fact, the teams that they're talking about won the Super Bowl this past Saturday. And I was there, and it was very encouraging. I can't top what anyone have said, but because I used to be a council member, and it's important to me what happens here in the city of Cleveland. I'm part of it. So the decisions you all make, I know they tough. What I'm asked tonight is my trust is in you all. I see your work every day, and I know that you'll do the right thing on this issue as well. And as you do that, keep in mind of the ones that are a little less fortunate. I can tell you now, as we got involved in this, and my wife is sitting here behind me, I want to say every little kid comes to the house, we adopt them, and we paying, and we getting them involved. And that's straight from the heart. Now, they don't want any praise from it. So the decision that you make on this sports park is very important to a lot of kids. And as the young lady said, it's about all the kids, not just any specific group, all of them. And if we gonna come together in Cleveland, we got to start, and I think this is a place to start. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lacy. Okay, we have Miss, is it Kiara? Kiara Thomas? Okay.
I'm a mother of a ball player for about 6 years now. And it seems like everybody's talking about one park. We have multiple parks here in Cleveland. We have a lot of children here in Cleveland. It has already been stated, everyone has done a wonderful job representing the children because we are their biggest advocates here in the community as their parents. It seems like a lot of the focus is in one area at one park, but there are multiple and there are a lot of children. I think that we should come together and figure something out for them, not just in one place, not just in two places, but if we can spread out fundings to do something at multiple of places so that multiple of leagues can do many different things. A lot of us have individual choices per family, per division, but we are all still here in Cleveland. We have residents that are here, children that live here, and then we have non-residential children that don't live here but still come and enjoy our children and our family. They come and they have fun with us. I think it has been mentioned that the kids have been divided. We don't see a division. The kids, they don't see a division. They don't feel the division. So as adults, we shouldn't put that on them. We should be coming together to make sure that there's space for everybody, not just at one place, not just at two places, but enough to where it can go around for everybody, for all the children to enjoy equal opportunities. I think everyone has pretty much based their concerns. The ActiveNet was another good key point. We were wanting to know more about that. I feel like it gives more so of the equal opportunity for everyone, along with the schedulings. If we can get all of our schedules in and make sure that the kids do have a place to play, not only to play so that others that are coming out of town, in town, has a place to enjoy. We do need concession stands and other things in order to make the whole event successful. Not just that, but referees that come in. You know, we want to make sure that we're able to accommodate everybody and not have to struggle to do these things. Again, the kids shouldn't feel it. And if we're doing our part, if we're coming together as adults, as leaders, as board members, I think that the kids will be a little more successful, that we wouldn't have a lot of commotion in the background if we can get these things done. But yeah, we want to hear more about the ActiveNet. We are growing. We like growth. We like positive changes. All of these things have been said here tonight. So it's easier said than done. Let's do these things. Let's get these things done as a community together.
Okay. Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for showing up tonight. And I listened to everybody, and I think that one thing that we all have in common, you know, you wouldn't be here, but everybody here, you know, trying to help kids. And a lot of the kids that you help are other people's children. Okay, the council, we realize, you know, who we are. We realize we have a lot of low income. And, you know, from my background, you know, that's where I come from. I come from low income, free lunch line. That's where I come from. And, you know, since I've been a public servant, 15 years at school board and several terms as city councilman, now as mayor, one thing I can say about this council that I sit with, I've sat with a lot of different individuals, but our council is one of the best groups, you know, that I've worked with. And I do know for a fact this council, the first thing, our first mission is keeping our city safe. Okay, in the last 5 years, we've made investments in our police department, our fire department. We've invested in getting them with the proper equipment that they need. We've raised their salaries to where we are competitive, with the surrounding areas. Cleveland's growing, and this council, we realize that. We have, that's our number one, is keeping our city safe. Number 1A is making things better for our youth here in Cleveland. That's our number one thing that's right there with the safety. It's making things better for our youth, providing them with better amenities. And during my term, we have put in a water park, splash pad rather, Campbell Park. We had an interest in kids, and we put in the skate park. We've invested in that park. We also we invested a lot of money in the Old City Park, providing new playground equipment. And as we speak this Saturday, we'll have a ribbon cutting for Samuel Wiley Park. And we have made some great improvements. And also in our library, in the last few years, we've invested a lot of money in our library. They have a lot of programs. This council, we are pro-youth here in Cleveland, every single one of us. The city, we're not trying to make any money. There's no way that we're all a product of, volunteers. I came up through Cleveland Youth, and Cleveland Youth started me out, and that took me places I never thought I'd go. I had mentors like Mr. Joe Bazar, Bernice Mitchell, Elton Williams, Mr. Willard Sutton. Those were my little league coaches, and that was over 50-some years ago, and I hadn't forgot those people. Some of them have passed on, but that's where I got my start at, Cleveland. And when I first moved back to Cleveland, after I finished school, and I moved back here around 1989, and the first thing I did, I volunteered. Well, actually, I took my son and daughter to sign them up for Little League basketball, and I ended up being a coach because they didn't have any coaches. So that's where I started volunteering at. So, I'm saying all that to say this. We are very invested in our youth here in Cleveland. Okay, and we got to the point to where we have, 10 years ago, we've grown a lot in the last 10 years. Yeah, we have a lot of growth down in Plum Grove, but we have growth here in Cleveland. We have over right at 500 new homes out in Grand Oaks. We got a lot. Cleveland's growing. So what we do, we have a Parks and Recreation Committee. They're all volunteers. They all, and I love volunteers because volunteering, you don't get paid for nothing. A lot of these people, get off from their jobs and they come and they have meetings here. And we have been trying to be proactive in providing the best that we can for our youth. Okay, another point. There is no way that we're going to charge any large amount for anybody here in Cleveland. Like I said, I'm from the low income, okay, and I've had people that help me, and we're not going to do that. And I'm speaking for our council that that's not the intention. We're not going to take away the park from anybody. That's not, it kind of, shakes me a little when I hear that. No, we're not going to do that. We're invested in our kids. So that's kind of my spiel. We're going to meet some more about that. But the fees, if there are fees, the council, we set the fees. They'll be very, very, very minimum at best. We understand. We understand that 90% of our students at Cleveland High School are low income, free lunch or reduced lunch. So we realize what we're working with. Just give us a chance You know, we want to provide access with everybody. We want to help all the leagues. And now I know that Julius is on that committee. And I came along with this, you know, at the end of the game. I try to stay up on everything that's happening in Cleveland, but we have so much stuff going on now. You know, we more or less left it up to that Parks and Rec committee, and I think they've done a good job. And I think that they're trying to do what's right for the kids. And we're gonna look at this, and we have to tweak some things, you know, to get it at everybody's satisfaction. You know, that's what we're gonna do. But I'm gonna turn it over to Julius. I know he has some feedback on that.
Yeah, but the city's not trying to take the park from the kids or make it over expensive where it's not affordable. I came up through Little League all the way through. I'm sure there's other people out there that played with me also, or they played in different leagues. The council's discretion is they can give the discount they want, and CYBSA is not going anywhere. It will be very cost effective, whatever we have to do. The only thing is setting up schedules. I know we're gonna work some stuff out, but they will have y'all's 3 months that y'all have, you know, March to the end of May, and then, you know, all-star stuff, I don't know how that's gonna work, but it's still in the works with everything. Ashley's still working with ActiveNet, and we, as a council, will make sure it's affordable. I mean, I don't wanna have to put any kids out. I know it's rough trying to even get coaching, trying to get parents, you know, helping them out to get the payments done for the time to get the uniforms and everything in. So y'all just bear with us. It's a growing pain. Mayor's said it multiple times. It's growing pains, and it's a good growing pain to have that we are gonna work actively, and there's still gonna be a season. It's not gonna be over expensive. So y'all just work with Lee. I mean, he's gonna be here working with it, and then Ms. Broussard, and then, also the Parks Board. I'll make the meetings that I can make. I mean, sometimes they're during the day and I can't make them, but y'all just bear with us. We're not kicking y'all out, I promise. That's about my spiel I got.
Okay, Ms. Hall?
Thank you for the opportunity to speak, Mayor. I don't have a comment at this time because I'm waiting to get more information from whatever this online system is that we discussed last meeting and what it looks like as a whole picture.
Yeah.
The only comment that I do have is that I agree with what was said. We are here for all of the kids.
Okay, Mr. McWaters.
No, I echo that sentiment. I mean, we are here for our children, our community, and as we research and continue to see what the best method is for ActiveNet is, you know, as we talk through that, you know, we'll get all that information to you if that's the direction. But again, it's also, it's kind of it's a tool. That's all it is, to help y'all, to help people schedule, to help our team schedule. So here at the city. So, but that'll be very visible to everybody if that's the direction that we go. But no, I echo Julius and Ms. Hall. Absolutely. These facilities are here for our kids.
Okay, Mr. Warwick.
Just to echo on Julius, like he said, you know, we're here for the kids and their families, and we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that everybody is happy. And we're going to be there for you all. So whatever you need, you know, we're gonna stand there with you. We're not going to make anything unaffordable to nobody because, like I say, you know, hey, we're all trying to make it right here. You know, so that's it. So we got all pulled together, and like the young lady say, we have more than one park. We have 3 or 4 parks here. So, you know, hey, whatever we have to do, that's what we're going to do. We're going to just pull together wherever we have to. But we're here for you, okay?
Okay. Okay, I'm going to add one more thing to that. You know, I was talking with Lee earlier, you know, this past week, and, you know, we were talking about his vision. You know, we have a lot of property out there at the municipal park, and we have plans, you know, to build more amenities out there. You know, like I said, in the last 5 years, we pretty much touched on every park, and now that we have Samuel Wiley Park, I mean, we had that upgraded, and the library's been upgraded. And now, we're going to focus our attention back on the municipal part. We're going to try to make it better. We want to try to make it bigger. It needs more concession stands. We realize, what we need, okay, but, I want the community also to understand, our resources are very, very limited. The only guaranteed money that we have is property taxes and sales taxes. And you look at the poverty rate here in Cleveland, it don't take a, brain surgeon to figure out that, resources is the issue with us. But as I said, I'm proud of this council. I tell them all the time how fortunate that the city is to have a council like this that cares, and I know that we're on the same page. Okay, and to all the people that's here tonight, the ones that's watching at home, it makes me feel good that I see this many people in here tonight. And everybody is here, for one reason. We're trying to help our children, help our youth. I appreciate that. But what we have to do going forward, we have to figure out a way to where we can make things, make everybody happy and please everybody the best that we can. So, going forward, Lee and Julius and the Parks and Rec Committee, like I said, we're going to have to do some tweaking on this. And we're not trying to take anything away from anybody. I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm very passionate, about that because I've been on the battlefield of public service now for a long time. And that's my motive, is helping people. And like I said, a lot of those kids that I see out there, on that baseball diamond, on that football, that was me one day back in the day. I was an at-risk kid. That's what they used to say, at risk, but, through mentorship, through people helping me, and I know a lot of the kids now, being a coach, that's where I started at, and a lot of times I'll be walking in H-E-B or Walmart, and I see a kid that I coached 30 years ago. You take Ivan Williams, DeAnthony Davis, Jeff McClendon, Hans Hodges, Joshua Chandler, DeAnthony, Prince Davis. And those guys now are grown and got their own families, and they still remember those days, Little League. So, once again, I just want everybody to understand, give us a chance. We're gonna get this worked out. And it's called Growing Pains. I had a meeting with Senator Robert Nichols, a while back, and he talked about, small towns like Cleveland and with the growth, it's called Growing Pains. And it's really hard, when you got limited resources on top of it. So, once again, we're listening. We hear you. And I think this was a very productive meeting because I think our antenna is going to come out now and we realize, hey, we got help. Y'all helping us, and we appreciate that, So any other comment on that? Okay, now, yes, sir. Okay, yes. No, you're welcome. You can come to the mic where we can hear you at home. Yeah. Yeah, you're on candid camera, so you got to speak at the mic.
I guess my question is what do we do about our season now? Because we have EMC that's opening up, we have Shepherd, Tarkington. I mean, we have families that are asking us, do we need to go and sign up over there? Because technically we don't have a contract right now. Mm-hmm. I have, as concession stand manager, I have Coke asking me, hey, what's going on with our equipment that is in the concession stand? So it's not even CYBSA's. And what do I tell these people? Because we don't have anything right now.
Okay.
And I can understand waiting, and that's fine, but what do we do about now?
Okay, well, I'll tell you this. That's at the top of our list. Go ahead, Mr. Tipton.
Yeah, I had a meeting with all the CCF and CYBSA, and they were told, and I know Nick specifically addressed that as far as what are we going to do. Just like council said, we're not kicking you out, so we're going to move forward with the way we are. We're trying to hurry up on our end to shore up this ActiveNet and all that, so we don't leave y'all out in the dark. But I can assure you, it's just not going to be a, oh, by the way, y'all are done kind of atmosphere. So he was told to have his tryouts, do what he has to do, and we will work around y'all's schedule once we get this short up into place. And even if it is late in the season and something happens, we could always kind of push it back if we have to. But we're going to go forth the way we currently are at this time. There's just not a contract signed. When we get to our end as a city, we will sit down with Nick and Lee and kind of discuss further how we want to go transition. This will be kind of that transition year, but again, we're not pushing anyone out. Sure.
I understand it's a transition year. My main question is, why are we doing this at the time that we usually do our contract? Why can we not go forward with the same contract we have to have that sense of stability behind us for this season? And why can't we talk about next year? This is our plan for next year, but why can't we have the same contract we've had for the last 5 years I've been on the board? Why is it right now when we're about to open? We have no certainty. Last year we had to fight for lights. Last year we had to do a lot of different things, and that contract protected us. So why can't we do that right this year?
Well, I would tell you, for me personally, looking over the contract is very vague and it is very broad. I would have changed that contract anyway.
We can
just
make
for that
amendments and
reason.
have a contract this
Well,
year,
absolutely.
however.
It would probably have to be completely redone, essentially. I mean, it's literally a 2-page document that was very, very vague, very, very broad-based. So that was something that obviously we would have to look at anyway. Plus, based off of that, you require a 60-day notice. So if we waited until the end of the next year, then we have another 60 days on top of that to extend that contract, if that makes sense, right? So
When does season usually end? End of May, correct?
End of May, but we had 5 teams for the first time in many years go to regionals this year, and 2 go on to state. So that lasted all the way until July 4th.
So I know when we made it, we had to rent the field for All-Stars or find somewhere to practice after May. But I don't know if there's a way we can at least extend the contract to the end of May so they can at least have the season all the way through.
yeah, we can sit down and look at that. Absolutely.
Say that works, just so y'all can go ahead and set up sign-ups and everything.
Just to have that stability backing us, saying like, hey, we do have what we need this year, and I understand having meetings this year about going forward for the following season. I totally get it, and I'm not against this active net thing at all. I don't want that to seem like that. My main concern is just having the stability, and yes, like, this is what is written within our premise, and this is what we're allowed to do. I just like those fine written deals, and like I've said, I worked here in the finance department for 5 years. Like, I understand. It's just having that backbone for us, having that stability, having that certainty for all of us, and just to protect everyone involved. Because as a CYBSA member, we have given back and we spend so much time at that field, and we're fine with helping do updates, do things there. We love that idea. But it seems like sometimes it's just kind of hard for us to get that, and I understand that we've never came up to all of you. It's always been a more one-on-one with the rotating city managers we've had for the past few years.
Well, that's something too that we're really working at is stability, you know, and this past year, we changed numerous items in our city charter to promote stability. Instead of 2-year terms, now we have 3-year terms. You know, but in the old city charter, the mayor can't vote. Okay, I think out of 3 years, I've had the opportunity to vote on 2 issues. You know, since 2018, we've been through 5 city managers? You know, and that's something that we're trying to do.
For 5 years, I worked under 3 different ones.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You know, we're trying to create that stability. It's growing pains. You know, we're trying to do it, you know, the best that we can. And, you know, just give us some time. And, you know, trust us. We're not going nowhere. You know, we're not going nowhere. Julius is here. And we're all products of Cleveland, and our children and grandchildren are involved with the CYBA. So, you know, but this was a good meeting tonight. you know,
I have a recommendation that take it or leave it.
Mhm.
Going forward with this ActiveNet, I think it might be a good idea to sit down with all of your local organizations that use your fields, facilities, even Dairy Day, everybody. And sit down with them and explain to them what this is and how it affects them. Even 501c3s, maybe come up with something for distinct 501c3s. Because we have that and we can provide that information.
yeah, well,
can
that's
look us
what
up.
that's what we're in the process of doing. You know, and we got to do some tweaking on this. You know, we got to do some tweaking on it. All I'm saying is, you know, we're not going anywhere. You know, we're going to be here. This is our home. And, you know, my kids grew up through you know, volunteers, and I got children and I got grandchildren out there now. So, you know, it's going to be done right.
We look forward to seeing all of y'all. Thank y'all for listening to my extra.
Thank you. Okay, come on, man.
Okay, just to piggyback on the comments you guys just made and the other comments that were just made. So I know it takes time. I know nothing is going to happen right away. Sometimes people want it to happen right then because they want what they want, but I know it doesn't work like that. However, she's mentioned a contract. So with the municipal park, does all leagues get contracts? Or is it just for the CYBSA?
It's just to finish the season out to start so we can get on to the ActiveNet. And then after that, that's when it'll go without the contract.
Okay, so.
Just so everything can get worked
future-
in the future.
No league will have a contract with the city. It will just be city-owned, the park, what our tax dollars pay for everyone to use. No one will be tied in to where certain leagues can use certain things and then some can't. It's very stressful. So I just want to, so that was just for the contract that they already have, not nothing. There's not one. Okay, so they don't have one or they do have one? 'Cause it just ended. Okay, so,
The contract was ended with CYBSA. They were given a letter of notice not to continue that contract, which was a 60-day notice.
okay,
So essentially, the contract is null and void at this point. They just had a 60-day notice. There was an extension that is not being extended, essentially.
okay.
So no contract at this moment.
Okay, and that's on record. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure, I didn't know if that was, hey, we all can petition for a contract? Because like I said, I know the municipal park is not just for CYBSA. Now we have football out there. I know it was mentioned in last meeting that we were gonna potentially get soccer fields out there.
Yeah.
So it's multiple sports, not just baseball, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Mayor, question.
Sure, step up to the mic, please. Yeah.
So in order to use the park, would you have to like do a use of facility? Is that what's gonna happen in the future? Like you would, anybody? Nobody knows? I'm going too far ahead.
So the future of the park, is that what you're asking, what the intent is?
Would you have to like?
The
in
intent
order
is
to
the
use park-
ActiveNet, which allows you to go in and reserve whatever, if you want ball field 1,
Gotcha.
you would go in and reserve it.
Gotcha.
So that's the intent moving forward.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, y'all. I just want to say one last thing. When talking about the concession stand and things like that, I know that it's open to, I know that not specifically just CYBSA has it, but majority of that equipment inside of that concession stand is with CYBSA. So if moving forward, do we need a pull of our equipment? Because like I said, Coke is pulling their stuff because CYBSA can't say that we have sole access to that anymore, so Coke is pulling their stuff out from us. But, I mean, we have other things like hot dog warmers, deep freezers, and that's where we come into, question on renting it out. Like, do we need to pull everything out at the end of the season? Just as a concession stand manager, I would just like to know going forward what that looks like for us.
We had, again, like I said, we had a meeting with your president, Nick, and Lee Majors for CCF. That was kind of discussed in there about that, so I would get with him probably later on and they can tell you further.
My husband was in that meeting. I know
Oh, okay.
I know what was said in that meeting, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, still going forward, so every day we would pull things out of that concession stand.
Well, we're going to look at a contract now, obviously, based off of council, so we'll see what, we could address that in the contract. Yes, the intent.
I love that. I just want to say, I love that. If that is the way that the city is going to go,
You're talking interim, or are you talking future?
future and like going forward, I mean, if that's something that the city is
Yes.
open to operating and
The Parks,
fully absorbing the cost of all of the equipment and stuff,
yes, the Parks Advisory Board agreed to that.
BSA doesn't have an issue with sharing that concession stand, so to say,
Yeah.
as a CYBSA.
Again, in the future, the purpose would be all of that would be city-owned property inside the concession stand.
Okay, real quick, I wasn't gonna speak, but since we're getting back up and going over the 3 minutes, I was just gonna say one thing. I've spoke with Lee Tipton, and many of you that are sitting here today, I've spoke with y'all on behalf of Cleveland Community Football and Cheer. And I wanna set the record straight for anyone who thinks, like, there is no divide. A lot of you don't know me, but I drive for Cleveland, for Cleveland ISD. I drive the route right by Sam Wiley. That's one of my bus stops, is Sam Wiley. I think I have 2 kids on my bus that play for community football. All the rest are Dragons players. I love all of them so much. Every Monday, I can't wait to hear how their games went. Last year, as someone who almost fully runs the league of Cleveland football by herself, I went last year to the Dragons Super Bowl. I love them all so much. There is no divide for me. I think that things got twisted this year. I just want everyone to know that. Like, I genuinely don't have hate for anyone. I think a lot of things are just twisted. There is no hate on our end for Cleveland football. We have not done anything hateful. I asked a question in the beginning of the season, should I get my stuff out? That's all I asked. I was never mad about it. I think that Cleveland community football got a bad rep this year, which is fine. This is our best season we've ever had. We had 4 full teams, 4 full cheer squads. We did amazing. Our cheerleaders went and played at competition. There is no hate here from Cleveland football. And moving forward, you were asking about the contract. I don't think they were understanding. Yes, Cleveland football did have a contract. It also ended just now. I think that's what you're asking, right?
No, I was speaking on what they were saying about the contract.
Yes. Yeah, so but football did also just end.
Okay, so.
Yes, now there is. Exactly.
Okay. Okay, so what we're gonna do, are we gonna table that for now until Lee can,
That's the will of the council, absolutely.
Mr. Mayor, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Just one, because I'm still waiting on information on this discussion, started last month and things. How long does it take to get that online system up and going? I'm just curious, how long is that process, the ActiveNet? Is that a thing, if you purchase this software, it's done and ready in 30 days, or 2 weeks, or 90 days? So, thank you. I was just curious about that, because from last month, I thought that was a committee or something looking into that.
So we are looking into that. We are actually working with ActiveNet right now because council asked at the last meeting that we do a build-out. So that's what we're currently working on, is the build-out of the a la carte menu on what you would be able to choose from that ActiveNet program.
And is that bill, so that quote for that, was that expected to be at the December meeting on the?
Correct.
And then, do you know the turnaround on that? Do they get you live and going in 72 hours or 2 weeks? What, if that moves forward? I'm just curious of their timeline.
If it moves forward, they can have us up as quickly as in a month's time frame. So
looking at January, even if it moved forward through
first of the
December.
year, probably.
All right. And then you're saying that this season goes through May? Okay.
So the contract that they had prior was February through July. That was the contract that we had.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Well.
All right,
okay.
thank you. I was just curious on the
Okay.
timeline of the technology or whatever system, but that would still be in the new year
Okay,
anyway.
but,
Okay, thank you.
I'm just asking everybody, okay, between now and the December meeting, know, we got some work to do on this. You know, we gotta wrap it up, and, you know, by that way, we gotta have something, you know, in stone. You know, it's a lot of uncertainty.
So
Yeah.
council, what are y'all wanting for the Parks and Rec Board to do, or me being the liaison for that? What are y'all suggesting? What do y'all want? I'm just the liaison here.
Since ActiveNet probably won't be up and running till probably January, and I know they need signups and get everything started, I would say let's just do the contract to the end of May so they can have their games and stuff and have the season already set until we can get that ActiveNet up.
So,
The contract will only be for the baseball and the softball.
okay.
Are you gonna say something? Okay, but between now and December, you know, we're gonna have something concrete. Okay?
You want me to bring a contract back for the December meeting,
Yes,
which
we
is
can.
December the 9th?
We wanna have something concrete.
Okay.
Because we got a lot of uncertainty, you know, with the, you know, the volunteers.
And will we also still see the ActiveNet quotes at that same meeting?
So my understanding,
As-
I'm sorry. My understanding was the will of the Parks Department was, or the Parks Advisory Board was to move forward with the ActiveNet, how it was presented. So everybody is aware, the gist of all of this is we're trying to move away from a contractual obligation for the rental of the fields. That is the intent of moving forward in case we get multiple leagues. If we get a soccer league that comes in, eventually we're gonna get to that point. Like right now, we have 2 football leagues. So who gets priority over who? We're trying to stay objective in the sense of we're gonna allow people to reserve that field for that use. That is the sole intent of moving forward with this. We presented that to the Park Advisory Board. They agreed to move forward with it. We're working with ActiveNet now to try to give y'all an exact demo, which doesn't just encompass the ballpark, it's gonna encompass Stansel Park and other areas that can be rented. So it's more of a all-inclusive software that we're trying to purchase as well, but just the ballpark falls into that.
Right. And that à la carte menu with the ActiveNet that Ashley mentioned, that will be ready by December as well? Or do they need more time to make that presentation for the whole system?
They're gonna have some in there. Right now, we're still trying to do comparative quotes as far as how much it is for a ballpark. We're not just throwing out numbers here, right? We're trying to get as much information we can from different leagues from around the area to make sure ours are not even fair, but that are cheaper because of the community that we live in. And again, that's where it's been put out many times is we're gonna present, and this is only for an example, we say $25 to rent ball field 1. That's for anybody and everybody that signs up. But for local leagues, that is where council has the opportunity to go in and give a discount code to those local leagues if they're 501c3s or whatever. What that discount is totally up to the men and women that sit up here in council.
Thank you for the clarification, Lee, and I guess I was just curious, because this is, you know, a contract conversation and a technology conversation happening at the same time, and I'm just asking that the the technology discussions that were approved in last month, that's still a project that's moving forward, and we're still going to see it.
We will move forward
So we'll
with
still
both.
get the information, and just kind of all presented at the same time of these two things going on at the same time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and I want to echo what Lee said about those fees. It's up to the council's discretion. And we realize, you know, the kids that we have, and we're going to be very understanding about that. So, you know, I just want y'all to keep that in mind. You know, we're going to be very, very, you know, pro helping our children. That's what the fee is going to look like, so. Okay, we're going to go ahead and, do I have a motion to table that? In December meeting, we'll come up with something concrete.
I make a motion, we table it until December.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Hall. I have a second by Mr. McWater. Yes, ma'am.
And
has nothing to do with baseball, it's football. There is absolutely a division and controversy in football. And there shouldn't be. We should all be one. We're stronger together. The concession stand. I've run that concession stand for 15 years. There's no reason to pull our stuff out when everybody can utilize it. That's what we do as a community. We share and we help each other. So I don't understand why we would want to pull stuff out if the football league wanted to come in here.
That was not anything that was said by.
We need to come together.
I don't know.
Technically,
who, but
I hustled all that money for all that stuff in there years ago.
Absolutely, and I will say, as a concession stand for CYBSA, there's no issue with somebody coming in for that. And
But we
it's
need to
never been
sit
for
down,
that,
the
never-
presidents need to sit down and come together.
I love that. I love that idea. That's just never been an option personally for me and concession. So
Because these are all of our babies, not just, they're not separated.
Okay,
Yes,
can we get this
yes, it absolutely is an issue. Yes.
Okay,
Can the
Okay.
president sit down with y'all?
So,
and-
so
Yes,
for,
ma'am.
so
Yes,
for
ma'am.
complete transparency, what occurred, there were some equipment used by another league that apparently didn't have the ability to do so. As a city, it's obviously a city park and it's a liability on us. So the decision was made that whatever belonged to CYBSA would be utilized by CYBSA and vice versa for any other equipment. The decision was made that we're not gonna leave anyone out, so let's say, and specifically since there are the Dragons, let's say, that uses that facility as well. That is why a corner of that concession stand was told this is where other leagues can utilize, anybody can utilize a concession stand, we weren't gonna close it off to anyone. The signs that were put up and the alternative of using the Connex container was given to CYBSA so they could move their equipment in and out if they wanted to.
I'm just saying it
So,
shouldn't
but
be like
that's,
that.
that was the
We should
intent.
be together,
okay.
all of us.
I echo with that. As from CYBSA concession, I agree with that, and I would have no issue sitting down and
Okay.
having conversations.
Well, you know, we got some work to do, and we're gonna work on
And
it.
that's all I want. I
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
bring everybody back together.
Yes, ma'am. And I appreciate the passion that I see with everybody, and that's a good thing. You know, everybody here, everybody on the same page, we trying to do things to make it better for our youth here. And, the issues that we have, we're gonna work them out. It's a work in progress, so, just give us time, and we working on it. Okay, I have a motion and a second on the table. All those in favor, all those in favor, that'll be motion carries 4-0. Okay, thanks you everyone for coming tonight. I appreciate you. And believe me, we hear you, each and every one of you. We hear you. Okay, we're gonna move on to item number 13, allocation of votes for Liberty County Appraisal Board of Directors, term 2026 through 2027. Mr. Tipton.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. So in your packet, you're going to see a resolution, whereas Cleveland City Council is a voting unit in the Liberty County Central Appraisal District, and whereas is the intent of this voting taxing unit to cast its votes for the position of Director of the Liberty County Central Appraisal District Board to a 4-year term from 2026 to 2029. So per the property tax code, all the nominees are on your ballot, and you may cast your votes for one candidate or distribute the votes amongst any member of the candidates, but you must cast your votes for those persons nominated on the ballot. So with that, the city of Cleveland has 156 votes, and as you see in your packet also that there are 4 nominees, and whatever council wishes to do with those votes, we can take a motion on and.
Give me some names, guys.
Sorry, my microphone wasn't on. My first thought is to just divide it by 4 and give them all a vote. Only because, does anyone know them specifically or have a biography on them that we can look at more closely than what was provided in the packet? That's just a suggestion. It can die on the floor.
Our deadline for submitting the ballot is the 15th? Is that right, Mr. Tipton?
Yes, sir.
December the 15th?
We do have a council meeting on December the 9th.
The night.
Maybe I want to bring it back on December the
Do they have a biography like they've submitted to the board?
This is what.
This is what we were given.
That's
So
all
we
you
would
get
just
from
have
the
to like
county, yeah.
self-look?
You have to do your research, basically.
Okay.
Wow.
Essentially, it says that you have to return the ballot and resolution by the statutory deadline of December 15th. Votes received after the statutory deadline will not be counted.
I think our council should model informed voting, and I think we should know who we're voting for before giving votes, or as I said, split them equally, if you wanted to do it tonight, but again, that's just a
Well,
suggestion.
Do you guys want to maybe table that? And we need just, I'm with Rachel, you know, we need some bio on the people that, you know, on the ballot. I mean,
If council wishes, and y'all want to do that, we can try to staff can kind of do some lookup and try to get bios to y'all, if that's what y'all wish.
Let's do that.
And it
Okay.
can be short, like that they
Yeah.
do on typical elections, just a short recap.
okay. Can I get a motion on that?
Make a motion, we table the casting of the Cleveland City Council ballot until the December 9th council meeting.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Mac Waters. I have a second by Ms. Hall. All those in favor? Okay. Item number 14, appoint board and commissions, Emilio Lavario. Okay, item A, TERS number 1 and TERS number 2.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Glad I'm not a Parks and Rec director tonight. So these items are, we have some annual business that the tax increment reinvestment zones consider, mainly in the request for increment as the taxes keep growing for those years, and that's how the finances are given to those entities, you know, based on our agreements. So as incentives. So each of those have a board of directors that is responsible for making recommendations and handling the business of the zones and providing recommendations to council for the annual increment releases. So in order to do that annual business, some of those terms, most of those terms have expired, so we need to renew board appointments for those boards. So if you could please, you know, take a look at who we have at this moment. I think one of the boards, TERS 2, is short in terms of applications, that some of that documentation is still pending. And talking with Tommy, there may be other avenues to address business with TERS 2 based on the language in their agreement. So just consider what information you have and make those appointments, and happy to answer any questions.
Okay, now, I think we had had a discussion on that the other day about, now I know one for sure that would be interested in serving on that board.
Yeah, so what we discussed is that in both TERS 1 and TERS 2, the state representative and state senator would be permitted to make appointments to those boards. So
Okay.
they were asking for recommendations, or at least Janice Holt's office was. And so if you have names, we could furnish that to them so that.
Okay, now I have one name, maybe two, depending on Julius. Julius, did you take care of that for me?
I have a question on one of the applicants, because the TERS, that's our Grand Oaks and Pinewood Trails subdivisions. I see one of the applicants is the vice president of McKinley Development. Would that be a conflict of interest to put them on a TERS board? Or do we want their voice being part of the TERS board?
No, that hasn't been a conflict in the past, and that's common, I would say, in some reinvestment zones.
I think they have several members of McKinley Development on that board.
A lot of their officers, corporate officers are on that board. or previously
Appointed
have
through the
been.
city? Or through the, their?
Appointed by the city, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Emilio, now when do you need to have this?
Well, they, of course, are interested in having the increment, payment soon, so, but it just depends on whenever we're able to.
Okay, I
assemble
have
a board.
one person that would be interested in it. For the Grand Oaks would be Willie Carter. He said he would, he's been around forever. And I had kind of nudged Julius in the side to ask him if his dad would be interested in. Now, you said they only meet like once a year, right?
Pretty much.
Those are two two good people that's been here, that's, you know, established, solid, not going anywhere, so. It's Julius, and matter of fact, I saw Mike today. I should have, you know, talked to him about it, but those are two people that, you know, I would recommend.
Yeah, and if Tommy says otherwise, I think you can make those appointments, and if they decline, then we can, you know, bring that
Yeah.
back, but
Are we looking through applicants, or we're just appointing those who haven't applied?
we have some applications, but I don't know that we have enough to fill every seat.
There,
So
how
you
many, it's two, correct?
There's
Two
two different
seats?
boards.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, because I saw A and B, so how many are being appointed to TERS 1 versus TERS 2? How many total appointments were you looking for tonight with the applicants?
Would it be easier just to table this to December?
Yeah, here we go, yeah.
And I do think. And Mr. Mayor, for Mr. Carter or Mr. Buckley, I do think it's important that we maintain our standard, that if they are interested, that they go through the application process.
Yes, yes.
And not just.
Yeah.
That was a habit in councils past that I definitely
Yeah,
wouldn't be
yeah, I
comfortable going back to.
had told Mr. Carter he'd have to, you know, do the proper paperwork on that. And, but now, between now and December the 9th, we can come up with something concrete.
And is it going to be more than two positions, or were you looking that up?
So I think maybe what you're talking about is what our elected, our state representative and state senator, those seats that they're able to fill, which is two on each board, basically. They kind of look to us for some recommendations to inform their formal recommendation, who they want to designate to serve in their place. But otherwise, there's still the other 5 board of directors that still need to be appointed.
So I think that's the question. What's the total number of?
Yeah.
So 9 total people in each board.
Are there any currently on the board that have,
All the terms
All
have
of them.
expired.
and did they reapply or told to reapply, or were they no longer interested? Because it doesn't seem like we have 9 applications.
Yeah, some of them did, some of them
Yes,
did
the
not.
ones that we got are the ones that reapplied.
And
We
those
sent
are-
out the applications, and we're still waiting on some to come back.
Mainly for TERS 1. So TERS 2, they're kind of working on the logistics of getting those applications in still.
So for TERS 1, do we need 2 appointees, 5, or 9? For just TERS 1?
So altogether, on the whole board, there's 9 seats, positions.
Available.
So all those 9 seats need to be filled.
Do they need to become alternating, or do we need to do all 9 every time?
I don't think I understand the question.
That's a lot to appoint.
And-
You could either make the appointments to fill unexpired terms that are, if they're all expired, then you would just appoint some for essentially one-year terms, but you would stagger them so that the reappointments, because I think blame me for going off memory on TERS appointments, but
And
I
two
want to
of-
say it's 2-year terms that alternate.
Yeah, there is some language in the packet under the notes section for each of those, like in the tables that are provided.
Yeah.
It talks about the staggering of the terms.
It's their time.
Members of the board are appointed for terms of 2 years unless longer terms are provided. May be staggered.
But the TERS 1 and TERS 2 are 2 separate boards?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, with separate people appointed, or are we appointing the same people to 2 separate boards?
We don't typically recommend overlapping.
Yeah. Yeah, but Ms.
Senator
Juanita,
Nichols is on both boards.
Yeah,
And
he's probably coming off because he's not running. Oh, okay, that's right, yeah.
But that also makes sense because
Yeah, he's over that.
There's a position.
And, yeah, they usually don't serve
There's a
themselves.
statutory position
Right.
for state rep, state senator, things like that. But don't they have to be residents of the TERS? And unless the TERS overlaps?
Most of these people
Are not
previously are not residents. They're corporate officers, maybe.
Yeah. Now, we do have at least one resident on each of those boards, right? One.
Cleveland resident.
Yes, there's, like Ronnie Danner is a resident.
Okay, there you go, yeah, yeah. So we got Ms. Juanita, maybe if you can contact Willie Carter, and if he's interested, he can come and apply. And Mike Buckley, those are two people I would ask, and if they can't, maybe, we'll try to find somebody else.
Can we also re-engage with the people that haven't signed up to see if they just haven't filled out their paperwork yet, or?
Yeah.
Yes, and we also did post on the website the application and the
Yeah.
flyer that we are accepting an application for Parks and Board, EDC, and TER. So it's currently it's on the website as well.
Was it on Facebook as well, shared out on social media for applications?
I'm not sure, but I can find out for you.
Yeah,
Because that
that's
would
what
be
we,
important to share to the public.
yeah, that's what we usually do is put it out there on social media. We have openings for this board, and,
No, maybe they go to our website.
So as we appoint all our boards in December, why don't we just add that to it?
yeah,
And we'll just do all of it in December.
And push out those applications again
Yes.
to get more.
okay.
Uh,
Okay, now,
Table item number 14, A and B to December's meeting.
Second.
okay, I have a motion by Mr. Buckley, a second by Ms. Hall. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Item number 15, adoption of a resolution authorizing publication and notice of intention to issue combination tax surplus revenue certificates of obligation, Series 2026, in connection with the receipt of financial assistance from the Texas Water Development Board through Rural Water Assistance Fund, and approving other matters incidental thorough to Ms. Harrison. Here we go.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Y'all are 3 for 3. We will not table this item. Okay, so this is for the grant that we received from Texas Water Development Board for $14 million. There is a match of $1.6 million. And this notice is for, this resolution is for the approval of a notice of intent to issue certificates of obligation to cover the $1.6 million. The actual paperwork to issue the bond will come back in January. This is just a notice that is required to be published for the public to make them aware of the notice of intent to issue the debt.
I make a motion that we approve the adoption of a resolution authorizing publication of notice of intention to issue combination tax and surplus revenue certificates of obligation, Series 2026, in connection with the receipt of financial assistance from the Texas Water Development Board through the Rural Water Assistance Fund, and approving other matters incidental thereto.
Second.
Okay, that was good, Rachel.
Thanks, Mayor.
I like that.
I'm trying to get y'all home. Appreciate you.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Hall. I have a second by Mr. Buckley. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pam. Okay, item 16, school zones changes requested by Cleveland ISD. Mr. Tipton.
Yes, sir, Mayor, thank you. Cleveland ISD reached out, of course, over the years, their schools have changed their hours or whatever, but their signs have not. So based off of our ordinance, they reached out to us. Public Works Director has looked these over as well. I'm just going to read them out real quick. The ones that they're recommended for the changes is the Cleveland Middle School and Cleveland High School. They share the same streets for the most part, 6:15 a.m. to 8 a.m. and 2:15 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastside Elementary, Douglas Learning Academy, 7:40 a.m., 5 o'clock p.m. Extended early hours on Jefferson Avenue only from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. to accommodate DLA drop-off. Southside Elementary, 7:40 a.m. to 5 p.m. DAEP Campus, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. and 1:45 p.m. to 2:45 p.m. Northside Elementary, they will work with TxDOT for the zone on FM 2025, but that will be 7:40 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 4:15 p.m. to 5 p.m. And again, these were just needed to be changed because they've updated their times for going in and out of school.
Okay.
Is there gonna be one on 1010? Or what would that be considered when you make the curve for Southside? Dallas Street? I say, 'cause there's no sign currently.
We will look into that one. Which one was that again?
It's Dallas.
Dallas Street between South College and Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Mr. Tipton, can I ask one question
I
that
just told
may
you I'm waiting for a ticket.
or may not actually be related to just updating the signs? We've had several in the community who have asked about reducing the speed limit in general. Is that something that can be discussed or has been discussed with TxDOT with these sign changes? Like in front of the schools, like the high school, and also in front of North Side where they are like really zooming down North Side over off of 2025?
So if it's city property or not a state highway, we could do it down to 20, and that's as far as we can reduce it to as far as the city. But if you're talking state, I'd have to give a TxDOT to see about a reduction.
And so I guess I'm speaking of not just school zone or hours, like just overall, like just reduce speed limit in front of our schools, especially again over by the high school was talked about. So is that saying that we have the authority to reduce it to 20 because it's in the city limits, or did I understand that wrong?
No, if that's a state highway, you're talking
It's a
right
state
there in
highway,
front
so
of the high school?
TxDOT.
Yes, TxDOT would have to do that.
Did they start one in Cleveland?
They've done one several years back under several other engineers.
Because they were doing something with the Grand Oaks area, right, with the stoplights out there also? So I was just curious. Okay, I thought they were doing a study also collecting some data. Okay. Well, just if that can come up as a topic of conversation next time someone's meeting with TxDOT, we're concerned about speeding cars all times of day and at drop-off in front of those two major roads or schools with major roads.
Absolutely, I have it noted.
Make a motion to approve item number 16.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Buckley, second by Mr. McWaters. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, item number 17, Airport Advisory Board's recommendation for hangar rates and contracts. Mr. Hugh McFarland, thank you, sir.
Hello, good evening, and it was really good to see all the passion about the youth. That was worth coming here tonight. You know, seeing everybody so passionate about the sport and the youth. And some of you may not know, first of all, I'm Hugh McFarland. I'm a volunteer at the Airport Advisory Board, recently elected as the chairman of the board. Recently, we just had a youth event at the airport where we gave rides to kids for free. Local pilots at the airport, tenants of the city of Cleveland, volunteered their time, their gas, their aircraft to give rides to kids. It's called a Young Eagles event. It's very, very successful, and it's been. This is not the first time that we've done that. It's been going on for a while. Well, I'm here.
Hugh, step up a little bit where they
sorry.
can hear you at home.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
I was not able to be here when the council voted on the fee schedule changes. Mr. Buckley stood in for me. I had to work that night. I had every intention of being here. But I wanted to come on behalf of the Airport Advisory Board. Throughout the summer months, we had met and we had discussions on fees at the airport for hangar rentals. And I myself and some others took some time and we traveled to assess how we compared with other similar airports for our fees at the airport. And we came to the conclusion that we were very competitive with a similar type airports. And we made that presentation during board meetings, and we voted. And we also recognized the fact that we haven't had a rate increase for fees at the airport for quite some time. Now, there's been issues at the airport that we discussed on delaying increases due to some other items that had to be accomplished, and I know Mr. Buckley was aware of those items and such. But nonetheless, the board acknowledged that a rate increase was reasonable, and we put forth a motion to approve or to recommend the City Council to, if they felt necessary to raise rates, to do so on a percentage basis and not to exceed 5%. That was language out of a previous contract with the city. And that passed 4-0 or 4-2 on that vote to allow the city to recommend the city to raise rates, but based on a percentage basis. And that was mainly because the city of Cleveland Airport has hangar rates. There's 9 different rates at the airport. They're not all the same. So a percentage basis was what we suggested to be the most fair and reasonable way to raise rates at the airport. Just like you raise water rates, you raise them 10%. We recommended that you raise hangar rates by a percentage, not by a flat dollar amount. By doing it with a flat dollar amount, what's happened, that was what was voted on, and I'm aware, we just make recommendations. But that was, I mean, there's a lot of due diligence went into making those recommendations. So what's happened with just the flat dollar amount increase, the lower income, or lower rent hangars that have been there approximately 60 years, they're quite old and in poor repair. I mean, the city's doing their part to keep them up, but there's a very diverse level of hangars out at the airport. And it was good to hear that someone wants to build more hangars, because you build them and they'll come. We'll fill them up. So I certainly support building more hangars. But what's happened was we had 9 different rates of the hangars. And the flat dollar amount made the hangars, the least expensive ones, bear a 22%, roughly a 22% increase in their monthly rent. And the newer, more expensive ones that are often shared with multiple aircraft in there, spread out the rate, they only went up 7.8%. So as a disproportionate on the lower tenants, lower fee tenants that are carrying more of the burden. So that was the reason why the board wanted to do it by a percentage. And after that vote was conducted, I asked for and was granted a meeting with Mr. Mayor and Mr. Tipton and Eric, the airport manager, and we had a good discussion for about an hour. And and I recognize, your all's decision, and but I really wanted to come. They asked, well, what can we do? Or I asked, what can we do after that meeting? And they said, well, you could come and speak to you all. So I'm here to be able to try to answer any questions that you may have as councilmen, why we recommended what we did, and to see if I can answer and kind of put a face to that, those decisions. We also had voted to any future contract to include language that was included in a previous one about limiting increases on hangar rental to the consumer price index or 5%, whatever's less, if necessary for a rate increase. And that was never addressed. Shortly after we voted that, the board voted 4-2 on that as well, to pass that. And shortly after, the city distributed new contracts, and that was not included. And so here, as the chairman, I'm really coming to you and asking you what the board was never given any feedback on why they, I guess, disregarded the airport board's recommendations. And I have, I've heard it from other board members, from tenants, and say, well, why are you there? What are you, if the city council and the city doesn't recognize the work that you've done, why are we here? And so I'm trying to, I'm kind of balancing, trying to, the tenants are wondering, why am I having to pay 22% more, and so-and-so who's sharing the hangar only pays 7% more? And I don't have an answer for that. I've had board members come to me and say, well, why should I even come to the board meetings? What's the value in it if the city is just going to do what they're going to do anyhow? And again, I recognize that we're just an advisory board, but we're here to help the city, and we are here to assist you. I mean, I don't know of any of you that are pilots or tenants at the airport, or actually use the airport. I've been at the Cleveland Airport for like 24 years as a tenant. I paid my rent faithfully every month for about 24 years out there. And there's many aircraft owners out there that have done the same. So we want to be your advocate. We're not working against you. We want to help you. We want to make the city, Cleveland Airport, the best it can be. So I would like to, if there's any questions or that you would have, could ask of me that I could answer to help. We want to foster a good communication between the airport board and the city council because we want to work to the better of the airport.
Yes, sir. I have just a couple of questions, and then, and I know that y'all submitted some information, and I believe we got some emails as well in regards to the recommendations and following up. My first question is, you've been there for many years. What year was the last rate increase for rent?
I believe it was 2018 or so.
Okay, so around 7 or 8 years ago?
Yes,
8 years.
Okay. And then, and because I'm not looking at it at this moment, was the recommendation, I'm sorry, I was listening, but did you say you recommended 3% or 5%? What was the percentage?
We recommended an increase up to 5%.
Okay.
And is what we voted on that was passed by the board.
And so, I understand that you did some site comparisons and went to other airports to see, types of services and things, et cetera. But, we've heard the word growing pains quite a bit, lately and tonight. So when like 3 to 5% was tossed around, but each year we have, and correct me if I'm wrong, raised our water rates 10% for city services, and year to year, like they haven't waited 7 years for it to be increased. So I'm just curious how an advisory board came up with something half as much as every resident would have to pay as an increase if you're going by percentage. How did it end at a small percentage versus 10% like other city services?
Well, it's a good question. Prior to the increase that was just levied, our average price for the hangar was $315 a month. The closest competitive airport was just $10 more, and actually it was $15 less if you paid in advance. So our price was already very competitive. And so that is where we thought that an increase of 5% was reasonable, based on the fact that we're already competitive in the marketplace for that type of hangar.
Okay. And this is just also, I think, in comparing one city service being the airport to other city services, like the cemeteries that had a cost increase and the water bills. And so, and I apologize because I didn't get to Pam to ask her beforehand. Pam, our water bill late fee used to be $25, that's correct? It used to be $25 for the late fee attached to the water bill?
No, it's a percentage, it's 10% of what the outstanding balance.
Of the late fee, if you pay it late?
No, I'm sorry, that's the disconnect fee that you're talking about.
Yeah.
If you don't pay the bill and the water's shut off, it was 25 and it went up to 40.
Yes, ma'am, that's, okay, because we have an increase of 10% for just usage, and then we have an increase in the late fee. I learned that because I was busy and late paying a bill, so I was like, when did this become $40? But if I compare $25 to $40, my math is giving me a 60% increase on a late fee of one fee for every customer in the city. And we have, unfortunately, many who pay late either because of ability or inability to plan ahead. So in comparison, if we're talking about a 60% increase for every resident on water rates, how does that affect the board's opinion on feeling like it's unfair to see 22% at one time called $50 when they haven't had an increase in the last 8 years? Was there any discussion beyond just the rates of the airport in comparison to the rates going up on everybody around the city? Or was just a board focused on airports and comparing what they think was fair to pay on their specific rent?
Well, based on what you just said, that 60% increase was on if someone was paying late. I don't think we're talking,
Apples,
right, I mean,
okay.
your rate went up with 10%, but your penalty for paying late went up 60%. I think that's not really a good comparison. But to answer your question, yes, we were just focused on at airport, because that's what, where our interest is, our expertise is in the airport. So we were not looking at other city services or something like that. We were looking at, at our Cleveland airport, our municipal city airport, how does that look to other city airports? Not airports that are run by private or corporate entities like Huntsville, Conroe, Hooks, other airports. But we looked at Lufkin, we looked at Livingston, and we were, in some points, we were more expensive in comparison to the other airports. So we felt that our rates were about where they needed to be. And so that's where we came up with that.
Okay, and you're absolutely right, a late fee versus a usage fee, but our usage fee has increased, I believe, 10% every year for at least the last 2 years, if not 3 years. So, and I mean this with all due respect, sir. I'm just gonna ask it in this way. Is the discussion from the board is that they simply don't think that it's fair that it was a $50 flat rate? Or is there extenuating circumstances that it's making them unable to pay for something, or they just feel like it wasn't fair?
It wasn't fairly distributed amongst the tenants because of the 9 different rates out there. If we were all paying the same rate, if we all had the same hangar, then the $50 rate increase would be evenly distributed. I mean, if you were to speak to an outsider and say, we're going to make it fair, we need to raise money for the airport, we're going to make it fair, everybody's going to pay $50 more. That would be fair and reasonable if everybody was paying the same amount to begin with. But we had rates from $225 a month all the way up to $650 a month. Those more expensive ones are often housed multiple aircraft shared by multiple people to weather that increase. Whereas the lower ones are the old hangars. I don't know if I had pictures of them and all in my presentation, but there's a vast difference between those old hangars and the nice new hangars that we have at Cleveland Airport. And we need to build more hangars. So that's where the unfairness, I thought, came into play. Not that I thought that it is, because you have some people paying a 22% increase and others paying 7.8% increase.
Well,
That's
Yeah, I haven't done the math, but, if, I think it's obvious that, not having a rate increase for that long played into this. So, looking at a percentage commensurate to the increase that would happen if everybody was saying, paid in the middle of that, I mean, what would be the acceptance of say, okay, now everybody's paying 13 or 14%, 15%?
Well, that's 15.89% would have given everybody the same amount of increase. If everyone paid, let's say, 15% more, that would net the city the same amount as levying the $50 a month on everybody. Because it didn't take long, but I worked it all out. I mean, the current is 15.89% equals the new rates with the $50 increase. So the trouble I have as the chairman of the board was really that we did put a lot of work and thought and discussion into, recognizing that, a rate increase was reasonable or, not to be unexpected. But to please do it by a percentage so that at least everyone's sharing the increase. And then just a flat dollar amount doesn't accomplish that. It accomplishes the same thing for the city, but it doesn't, it's not fairly distributed amongst the tenants. I just want going forward that, what the relevance of the board to be, I guess, respected in a sense, because it felt like there was no, it had the city come to us and said, hey, you guys recommended 5%, we need this because of this. We never, none of that happened. And so we felt like, well, you know, I'm volunteering my time. Why, you know, we need, you know, information needs to flow both ways to have a productive and healthy relationship. And that's what I'm asking for. I mean, if there's anything we can do to make things more fair for the tenants, I'm all for that. But I just wanted to present that to you guys and give you the chance to ask questions. Like, you know, I appreciate those are good questions. And I mean, the airport boards consist of 7, and only 3 of us are actually pilots, aircraft owners, tenants at the airport, customers of the city. The others are city interested folks, you know, which is great. But we're kind of your boots on the ground. I mean, we're the ones that are buying your fuel, you know, using the airport, volunteering our time with, you know, doing humanitarian flights for the community, that kind of thing. So we want it to be a good relationship between the board and the city, and I appreciate the time that Mr. Tipton, Mr. Mayor, you gave us, and Eric, and I think you guys made a good choice with Eric as the new airport manager. He seems very engaged and willing to serve the city well in this capacity. So, are there any other questions that I can answer, or, I mean, I just want to...
I got one more, Mayor. First, I want to say thank you for your time volunteering in 24 years, but being on the board and as well as doing the event for the youth. That's a big thing. That's an exciting thing. It inspires kids' careers, and it's just fun. So first of all, thank you. And like you said, you put in a lot of work, and I think we need to appreciate the work and the effort put in to take this into account. Something you just said, I just wanted, for my own or for the council's understanding about the communication. When the board makes a recommendation, and as far as like, you know, being listened to by the city on the city side, would it be true or not true to say that the board speaks, or board representative or chairman speaks with our airport manager, used to be a director, and that you are in contact with the manager and sharing those recommendations and insight, and he is having meetings when y'all have staff meetings with the city manager, and it is being communicated via those channels? Would that be accurate? And Mr. Tipton, when you speak with your airport manager, do you send back information for him to share with the board, or as well as we have a council member, correct, Julius, I think you're still on that one, you're on several, so that you're communicating back to the board as well, like both ways, is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Sir, do you feel that that is accurate, that there's communication 2 ways between the board via the manager or prior director and city management when they meet as director meetings, and that you are getting communicated back? Because I am big on communication, and I can understand that sometimes that is lacking, that I completely acknowledge. I've been on boards. So do you feel it's lacking?
I can
feel
answer
it's
for a
improving.
second, just
Right.
1 second. I think when Lee came on and we had the in-between with the airport director and manager, I'm gonna tell you, the ball got dropped between that time to then. Has it mended a lot better? I would have to say the board has. Now, I'm not gonna speak 100% for him, but I'm gonna say just from my perspective, I think it has gotten better since he's gotten actually on board, and then we have Eric out there now. I'd say the communication's gotten a lot better, but I'll let you go ahead and speak on your part of it.
Okay,
But just
thank
from
you.
my personal view of it, between it all, that's where I feel it did get dropped, and I'll own up to that one.
And as I said, I completely agree that there's been some issues with communication that I mean, Mr. Tipton gets emails from me, right? We talk about it all the time. So I just want to make sure that we're hearing you, that you feel like if there is a communication gap, that we address that, and so.
Okay,
I do agree that the communication is improved. It's significantly better. After this whole hangar thing, and I'm not trying to, you know, make a mountain out of a molehill. You know, but it's the fair and reasonable is what I'm trying to, you know, kind of make sure that we're all kind of aware of. It's my understanding or my belief that that $50 rate increase was decided on long before we even had these meetings this summer. And I kind of feel like we went through all these motions and traveling around. I mean, I took a day and traveled around to these airports and spent time and money to do that. I think that rate increase was already baked in, and we were never told about that. So we went through all this work and recommendations, and the city went ahead and just did what they wanted to do without saying, hey, this is what we want to do, this is what we need to do. How can we do it and implement this in a way that makes sense? That was never communicated to us. Now, I think going forward, I don't think that's going to happen again. I would hope not. I think we can work together more. Eric has been very, willing to communicate. I mean, we've spoke on numerous occasions, and so, yeah, it's improved. I think the way this was done was probably, it could have been done better.
Okay.
Well, I just wanna
No,
add-
you
Just
go
for
ahead.
transparency purposes, I will tell you, I didn't even call Liberty Airport until after the actual meeting y'all had where people came and spoke, because the rumor came out that we were gonna use Conroe and Hooks or whatever. So I took specifically the two airports that were brought up by the board and the citizenry in here was Huntsville and Liberty. So I personally called Liberty, and that was after the fact, so we did not have any price prior to that at all. I mean, I was trying to force something out of actually the old director out there to try to see, because that was where it had happened before I even got here, that
Right.
it was already in the process. So we knew it was coming down to the wire, so I was trying to get something from them. So there was no price, even in forethought until after that, after I contacted Liberty, and we got hold of Huntsville and a couple other ones to come up with the price. But like we talked in a meeting, moving forward, we're gonna look at better ways and better options moving forward for any type of increases out there. And we do appreciate the board, just like a lot of the safety things that y'all bring up, the FOD and all that, I don't know, I didn't even know what FOD was. I do now.
Right.
But again, that's our job to fix that and the maintenance and all that. That's why the communication, I think, has gotten a lot better. That's why we created that email system, and you are always free. Anybody out there is free to email me anytime.
Thank you.
Okay.
And yeah, I just want one more thing. And I don't want anybody on, those boards serve a very, very, very big legitimate purpose. And I don't want anybody on those boards, and this has happened in various boards beyond just the airport advisory board. This has happened, we've seen it happen in many different boards to where they give a recommendation, but it just so happens that it's something counter to what the council at that time decided to go on. But y'all deal with so many other things outside of just this fee schedule that y'all are heard on, and you're heard on this too. So I don't want anybody on those boards to think that they're serving on a board that no one's listening and everything. We are talking about something very specific in this fee schedule, but this is just a small part of what y'all deal with in your meetings. I've attended your meetings, and this was a part of it, but not by far. I learned some things in there, not being a pilot or being, that was very, very eye-opening for me. So I don't want anybody to get discouraged. I mean, y'all are fulfilling a very vital role.
No, thank you. I appreciate hearing that, because we're passionate about it, and like the folks, we're very passionate about the youth sports. Aviation is something, is something we've all,
Okay.
well, some of us have really grown up with and are very strongly.
Okay, here, I've done some, a lot of, I've looked at some different things. This is my third year. During the time when I was first elected, we were like in a transition. For years, that airport was contracted out.
Right.
And now, this is our third airport director in less than in 2 years. Okay, we got a new city manager, and our budget it's a lot of moving parts. We have executive staff. We have a finance director and her staff and Lee, and the council. We looking at water and sewer, cemetery fees, building permit fees, We looking at salaries, we looking at insurance, we looking at parks. We got a lot of different moving parts, man. And when it come down to finances of the city, you know, what we had to look at, you know, and I told you this when we met, I don't know of anybody that has leased or rented anything that I could think of that hadn't had a rate increase in 8 years. Not the way it is today. Okay, I said this before in an open session. You know, we have senior citizens that live, you know, off of $700, $800 a month, and they spend $400 a month of that on their medication. Our water and sewer rates have went up 10% for the last 3 budgets. It went up 10%. Okay? Our cemetery fees, you know, we looked into that. Our cemetery fees went up from $690 for a plot to $1,750 for our residents. Many of those residents, as I said, are low income. You heard that from all the youth volunteers. Okay, and the $1,750, that's still cheaper than any of the rates around here, but we hadn't changed those fees in so long. I mean, we looking at a budget, and that's what we had to do. The Stansel Park rentals, they went up 25%. The Civic Center rentals have went up. A lot of the building permit fees, I mean, that's what we have to do. I mean, it's a lot of moving parts. I mean, our income is based on property taxes and sales taxes. You know, we're not just singling out the airport, you know, and I appreciate what the airport board is doing, but the airport, y'all just focus on the airport. But we got to focus on the whole city, and we got to be fair with everybody. And the rate increase, you know, I think it was fair to say that you hadn't had an increase in 8 years. I mean, you know, as far as the communication is concerned, yeah, we went through, that's something that we are trying to do now, is to establish some consistency and some tenure on this council, because we always had so many moving parts. So I'm saying all that to say this, you know, the airport falls under the same umbrella as the Public Works, Police Department, Fire Department, Finance. They fall under that same umbrella. And here we've made changes, we've raised fees, and everything that we've done concerning the airport, we check with FFA, we check with TxDOT. I mean, everything that we've done is legal. Now, next year, I mean, the rates might be the same, but, you know, it's just a lot of moving parts on that, just like with our salaries. You know, right now, it's, you know, we're renewing salaries. It's time for evaluations. You know, we don't know how much money how much we're going to be able to, you know, it's a lot of moving parts to that. And I just like the, you know, the airport board to respect where we coming from. I mean, we basically volunteer up here. We get paid very little, and we spend a lot of time. And you saw the heat that we have to take, and we don't, like I said, we don't get paid nothing. But, you know, we doing the best we can do. We're not making any money off the airport, Hugh.
Well,
We're not making any money, number one. Okay, number two, our insurance went up from what, $10,000 to $35,000. I mean, that right there, I mean, you know, what are we supposed to do? Just, okay, well, we're not gonna raise the fees. I mean, it's called, that's any city municipality, they do it the same way we do it. You know, I mean, that's the way we're gonna do it in the future. I mean, we're gonna be fair, man. We're not trying to do anything to overcharge anybody or gouge anybody, anything, man. But we're just doing what we're trying to do. I mean, we're trying to stay afloat, man. So, you know, that's just, and I'm sure everybody up here feels the same way I feel, you know. You know, if you feel different, you know, say something. I mean, we doing the best we can do, man, you know. And we have plans for the airport. I mean, you know, we want to put new hangars out there. We want to do things. But, you know, takes some resources, takes money to do all that. You know, we just trying to stay afloat, man. I mean, like I said, and probably not going, it's not going to be another 8 years. Nobody's going to go another 8 years without a raise, another 2 years. Everything's going up. Yes, sir.
May I say something, please?
Yes, sir.
I believe that you are not arguing whether or not the rates should have been raised. You're merely commenting on the manner that they were raised.
Yes, sir.
So to
Yes,
put, can I give an analogy? It's
Yeah.
like you go to a restaurant and you have a group of people, one person's getting a $10 appetizer and a water, and another person's getting the ribeye with all the fixings. And then everyone says, oh, all right, well, let's everyone chip in $5 for the tip. Well, that's 50% for the person who got the appetizers and a mere 5% for the person who got the steak with all the fixings. He's merely suggesting that if this had been done on a percentage basis rather than a numerical one, that the same money would have been raised, but the person who was ordering the appetizer wouldn't feel it as much as they are with the numeric. Is that fair to say?
That is exactly what I'm trying to
So,
cover.
yeah, I just, again, I want to bless this gathering, but it's also important for me that people are understanding so that we can proceed. But that's, he's
Yeah.
not arguing against the
Yeah.
airports having their rates raised.
Yes, sir.
Is that fair?
That's very fair, and thank you very much for your time.
Yeah,
That's-
well,
that's-
you know, like I said, we understand that. And like I said, going forward, the board, like I said, Hugh, I appreciate all you do. I mean, you up here, it's almost 9 o'clock. You've been sitting out there for 2 hours. You're not getting paid nothing, man. You know, we appreciate that, but, you know, we trying to get some stability. We've just had too much turnover, you know, and we trying to get stability on the council. We have 3-year terms now instead of 2-year terms. In May, we're gonna add another council member. The mayor will have opportunity to vote. I mean, a lot of things, you know, we're trying to correct. A lot of things have been overlooked for a lot of years and never was addressed. And when Lee came in from day one, I told him, hey, you got a lot of cleaning up to do. And that's basically what we're doing, man. You know, we're not trying to gouge anybody or do all of that, but, you know, right now, you know, we've had to raise fees on a lot of people. And the one that really got me was when we raised the cemetery fees from $690 to $1,750, you know, and we got 90% of the people that low income, and, you know, you see, you know, people that, you know, need to be buried. You look at them with a GoFundMe but we had to do that. We had to raise that, but we raised it, but we still are the lowest rates around here. And I think that the airport rates probably about as low as, you know, they're in the ballpark with everybody else. So, I appreciate what you do. I hope you, you know, remain and stay with us and work with us and going forward. You know, we're gonna, you know, that's where our leadership, that's where that comes in. You know, we gotta have stable leadership here. And we trying to correct a lot of stuff, and it's hard, man. I mean, you know.
No, the Reverend's 1-minute synopsis was what I was trying to.
Hey, brother. What's your name? What's your name, Pastor?
So,
My name is Joshua. Don't expect my sermons to be that short.
Yeah.
thank you for your time.
Okay, Hugh, thank you, man. Okay. Y'all, man, I done lost my, okay. Y'all got my head spinning tonight. Okay, we'll now convene into executive session. The city council reserves the right to adjourn into executive session at any time during this meeting to discuss any item on the agenda as authorized by Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act. The city council will meet in executive session as authorized by the state's Open Meeting Act for the following purposes: consultation with the city attorney on real property, hangar relocation, dedication agreement, Section 551072, Item 19, Personnel Matters, City Manager's Performance Evaluation, Section 551074, and we will now go into executive session at 8:47. Okay, we're gonna, go back into, at 9:46. Okay,
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we offer our city manager a 10% salary increase with another evaluation in 6 months.
okay. I have a motion by Ms. Hall. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Buckley. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Mr. Tipton, look like we're gonna keep you around for a while.
Can I have my ID back?
Huh?
Can I get my ID back?
I make a
You ain't going nowhere. I told you. Yeah, you gonna give me at least 5. I told you. So, okay, well, do I have a motion to
I
adjourn?
make a motion, we adjourn.
Go to the house. Hey, bro. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate it.